just kind of steamrolled through Zero Tenacity. But with a whole week off, like after group stage going into playoffs, surely both of these teams have done the prep work that they need to in order to try to get as far as possible. And now here on Championship Sunday, this is the final best of 5 before we go into that best of 7 against Reject. But first, both Zero Tenacity and Pirates need to go head to head here on Celestial Husk, and what better way to start it than here in the ban draft?
Gotta ask you, Coach Dan, we gotta poke into your brain a little bit. If you are into this matchup, you're facing Pirates, would you rather face a domination match that you've consistently won in the past, or one that you've recently lost and sent you down to the lower bracket?
That's going to be a really big question, right? It depends on how domination is played by both these teams. Either you go for the dive composition and try to force yourself to get the space that you need in order to get as much momentum as possible, or you just go the other approach, right? You wait for the dive to come in, try to peel your entire team, and then go for the counter engage. But that's really going to be the big question mark. How do both these teams want to run their compositions? Because we've seen them play dive. Both these teams can play dive. Both of these teams can play brawl. So these teams are very, very flexible in terms of what they can utilize to their utmost advantage.
It is the big question, Dan, because that's exactly where Zero Tenacity is right now. They lost Celestial Husk 2-0 against Reject, sent down to the lower bracket, barely winning out at all in that series. Only Museum of Contemplation was their winning factor. Well, we're getting ahead of ourselves. We'll have to wait and see what is picked for game number 2 when we get there. Mantis, the reserve. Elsa, the reserve for Pirate's side. Damage amplification has been secured by ZT.
Yep, Zero Tenacity getting that one-sided Mantis means that they will for sure have the advantage in terms of that ultimate acceleration. Keep in mind, if you have the damage amplification, that does mean your ultimate gets online just a little bit faster, and that's really what Zero Tenacity are looking to play around. They will take away the Mantis early, predicting that Pirates will go for the Elsa one-sided, and they do adjust that. Zero Tenacity, however, they secure the Vibrant Vitality with the Mantis and the Loki team up.
Makes me think with the Invisible Woman ban from Pirate's side that maybe we will see a more aggressive dive composition with the Elsa on top. We do have the Loki, though, a lot of strategic reserves from Zero Tenacity, ensuring that there are going to be consistent heals and damage amplification. But with the Invisible Woman and White Fox ban, that's telling me that Pirates, they're opting to have strategists without a lot of fight back potential. Not as many get-off-me tools for someone like, I don't know, Daredevil?
Maybe, but Pirates are posting up to say, hey, we're going to run dive.
Oh, no.
Because no White Fox means that that's not going to be available. No Invisible Woman means that there's no extra peel, no assistance with the Guardian Shield, no assistance with the Force Physics. As Zero Tenacity, they thought about the Strange ban, but they're just going to go toe-to-toe with the Invisible Woman ban instead. But Pirates, I would not be surprised if they try to go in swinging with this dive composition. But Zero Tenacity, however, they do have options of their own to try to shut it down with the Vibrant Vitality team-up. Both the Mantis and the Loki will have extra resources in terms of surviving this dive engagement coming in from Pirates. And if Zero Tenacity also put Marvel on the Groot, that's just extra healing at their disposal as well.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the front line's going to look like for ZT. Bizar's already locked in the Penny Parker. Could also maybe be. I just don't know if that's going to be a full committal there. Yeah, Bizar has not locked it in. That was just the hover. Instead, you have the Doctor Strange and the Venom, looking very dive-centric. Hadia, though, on the Vanpool, that would be such a great way to mitigate some of that damage for the dive.
I mean, Hadia on the Vanpool means that Pirates will want to go in as quickly and aggressively as possible. Kaidia will have to try to get the Banhammer online as soon as possible so that Zero Tenacity, one of those strategists are going to for sure get marked. If it's Bazer, it's gonna draw out the regen domain quite early in the team fight. So if Pirates are able to expose that cooldown, make sure that gets thrown to the wayside, Pirates will have the upper hand in terms of winning out in that first engagement. But Zero Tenacity will use the portal to try to, at the very least, maybe cut off main. But no, they're just gonna curve it to the right side and make sure that they get the extra control on the mission area before it even opens up.
Using the shield, portal's a shield, excuse me, allowing Ultron, Jerry to hide around. First KO of the match, that's Aztec to fall. You have the Luna Snow to help with some of that hit scan to be anti-Jerry. But Jerry's an unstoppable force. The stalk in between used as environmental cover. Jerry and Soko showing already that Zero Tenacity are here to fight.
I'm a little surprised Pirates aren't running the dive composition. They really wanted to do that, but Zero Tenacity, they thought a little bit ahead. They shut down Return's Daredevil in the ban draft, so he's going to have to find a different approach in terms of how they want to go for this next engagement. Aztec, however, on the Jeff still has the team up with the Symbiote shenanigans, with the Venom, Kaidia with the Jeff toy as well, but Return has to go for the next best option. We'll go for the Wolverine. We'll help out Vital in terms of that team up potential, so Return could do a little bit of extra damage here.
Yeah, Marvel's got to watch out. Wolverine has been a menace inside the playoffs against group players, and so a lot of that walls that you can build up will get destroyed. Just a matter, though, if Soko can help keep alive and have tabs on that Wolverine pick. We haven't seen him in the server just yet, but I did certainly hear him.
There we go.
There we go. Feral Leap is out. No last stand just yet. Return, a wealth of damage applied, but Marvel not isolated. Soko still playing for the shield, spamming it up and down, helping out his fellow Vanguard.
Vital is just so low for so long. He's not able to safely do enough damage to zone away Zero Tenacity. Look at everyone in Z10. They're already healthy. Marvel and Jerry team up to find eliminations. Wendy's even there in the backline, just peppering down the hurt onto Fun as well. And Zero Tenacity are just speed running through this first checkpoint.
Yeah, this is Manta Central. Working well. We saw Rage of Ultron from Jerry. That helped out alongside Wendy. Z will respawn, have Ensong Inferno set up and ready to go along with Vital. Maybe an ult dump will come out from Pirates side. So many players are close.
It's gonna have to be. It's gonna have to be. Pirates are losing out. We're going to Final Fight territory. Fun and Return have their ultimates soon and ready to go. It's a matter of Zero Tenacity being able to peel the engagement coming in, because Aztec could easily shut down Wendy's ultimate if he does choose to do that. But Aztec will follow up the strategist of Zero Tenacity, but he's not able to get to the edge in time.
Oh, unlucky there. Unfortunate. Displacing the strategist momentarily. Soul Resurgence out though. Wendy finding some impact early on. Double Ensong Inferno. Plenty of flames and fire to go around, but no direct impact. In fact, Vital falls from it. Z's there for the Return though. Return sent back to the sender. Unlucky. And a double KO to boot. This is a fantastic start for Zero Tenacity.
And the portal needs to be opened up for Pirates. Is it going to come out in time? It's going to be up to Fun if he's able to stall in time. As overtime still ticking down. Kaidia gets sniped down by Wendy. There's a chance for Pirates to maybe get a foothold onto the site. Portal does come in, so they have a second chance.
Second chance. You have to make it count. Return now onto the strange portal on the way. It's out. It's there. And there is some room, but Kumio has been unleashed. It's going to be Return to play so aggressive into the back line. Was that challenge worth it? We'll have to wait and see as an Agamotto falls directly onto the husk itself. A strange shield in the way will help out. Rage of Ultron is out and about, finding one, lowering that damage all you can. No one checking for the backup Pirates. It's Z there to find the slays. The KOs abound once more. And with potentially another ult on the way, Ensong Inferno for the front lines. That's one Vanguard gone. Normally, Return's not in that role. That yellow beam, keep a careful eye on it. It won't be around much longer. Have to hold on, Fun. All the heals of these strategists are being pumped into him. And away for a tempo starter, $20,000 potentially on the line. Z takes down Fun. And with just one member left, they hop off the point, and point one goes to Zero Tenacity.
Zero Tenacity are just playing like an well-oiled machine. That was just great counterplay coming in from them as well. Pirates did have a chance to win out before overtime even came out. Aztec swallowed up two strategies of Zero Tenacity, but Aztec just couldn't follow through with the elimination. And I also got to shout out Zero Tenacity. They're playing against a one-sided Elsa. Vital has been piloting that pick for quite a while, it feels like, but it really hasn't done a whole lot. He's been pretty quiet, at least in this first round. Yeah, I don't think Apex Predator was able to be used at all, it felt like.
So I guess the big question is, there is environmental KO potential on Celestial Husk. I mean, we didn't really get to see a lot of it early on. This next sub-map will have more opportunities closer up. Maybe we'll see that saved up for Vital in this first fight.
The battle starts in 5.
A chance, but Pirates are going to have to rely on it really well, because Zero Tenacity, though, they still don't have ultimates ready to work with. Most of them are only halfway there, so Pirates, if they want to win out this first fight, they have to do it now.
Gotta make a damn sure job they can make it work here. Let's see. Early on, Vital again, Apex Predator. My eyes are peeled. Fun does have Abyss, Beast of the Abyss, from within. Depends on how much of a hungry boy he is. Doko's piercing around, keeping full tabs on this Elsa. You cannot let her get into the back line, and that's most certainly the goal.
I mean, everyone on Pirates are so spread out. Zero Tenacity are losing map space right now. Kaidia jumps in, gets the Banhammer onto a backline, but Vital just gets popped. Can't even use the Apex Predator. It gets shut down immediately to 0%.
Immediately, that monster has been put away. Strangling Prison sent down on top from Marvel's side. Wendy and Jerry, they have their ult set up and ready to go. Not necessary. Aztec's there. It's Jeff. Will it be sent off the stage?
Oh,
no.
the walls.
Blocked by the walls of Groot. That is unbelievable. Agamotto in return. The soul has left the fish. And through it all, it seems Zero Tenacity on track to get this first point cap.
These micro plays are just insane. Marvel blocks the exit for Aztec to try to throw members of Z10 off the edge, and Pirates just couldn't figure out a way to follow through. I have Agamotto tagging onto the backline. The strategist, most importantly, of Pirates just meant that this first fight was already over as soon as Soko landed that Agamotto.
I mean, we talked about the damage amp in the ban phase, right? Jerry, Wendy both have the capabilities of doing so. Very soon to have Rage of Ultron. Keep an eye on him. But now you have double hit scan, triple hit scan on Pirates to try to shut down this flying strategist. You're going to have to make something work because he's getting away with so many heals for free. It's a jump back down once again. Fun has the feast once again, but will there be an Abyss? That's the Rage of Ultron. Small corridors, isolated 1v1s, and through it all, finding Kadia. That's not going to be enough. Jerry unfortunately falls mid-ult.
Fun, and the rest of Pirates, they do have a man advantage. Yeah, it just keeps going. Great anti-heal potential coming in from Fun, but with everyone on Zero Tenacity focusing down the Venom means that he's going to get taken away. So Zero Tenacity, despite being down a man, will still have a way to come back. Great peel coming in from Baser and the rest of Zero Tenacity, making sure that the Loki stays alive. Great swap as well to reposition. Pirates are losing steam fast because look at their ultimate economy.
Yeah, but they have to rely on sales and win to make it work. We'll have to see if Pirates can regather their thoughts and bring it back, but I don't know. Maybe a portal? 68%? Is that too early?
Might be a little early. I think Pirates do have time to walk on forward, look for some sort of fight, win, but with Zero Tenacity being bunkered up, look how they're posted up in that little room at that part of the map. Pirates, if they want to go for the dive, they're going to have to invade that little area, and if you know anything about dive compositions, you cannot run it very well if you're going to get stuck into that small room.
Strangling Peasant Fun brought out now. Double KO from the hands of Zero Tenacity. Vital, we were set up and waiting. We thought Ensong Inferno would come out, but instead, trapped by Roots, made things incredibly tough to have impact when you're not alive. Overtime once again, though. Pirates have been staggering massively in this first map. They have not been finding any value. Eaten once again. That's going to be Wendy gone. Aztec, a chance for survival, but playing for Jeff Denial inside that small house. No device, any chance of using that ult. Ensong Inferno brought out. Where does it land? I'm not entirely sure, but it doesn't find a KO. Soul Resurgence is out, Soko is gone, and Pirates are off point. That's a clean 2-0, at least for the first map for ZT.
That was a double shutout, 200-0 in favor of Zero Tenacity. They just played the dive, or played against the dive so well, and whatever Pirates were trying to do, it just didn't work. They tried to brawl, but Z10 were better at it. They tried to get a little more aggressive with the dive, putting Return on the Psylocke, Fun on the Venom, and still, nothing worked out. Everyone on Zero Tenacity knew what they were putting themselves into. The Elsa went quiet. Pirates' dive composition also going quiet because Zero Tenacity, they knew what they had to do. Just take over the small room, just bunker down, use the Loki and the Mantis team up to keep your team alive, and with Marvel as well helping out because Mantis is secured one-sided for Z10 meant that Zero Tenacity, they just would not go down.
I'm really happy you mentioned the Loki too specifically because we saw the environmental control from Zero Tenacity, especially in that second sub-map, bunkering down away from the domination point. They captured it, they played in that small room, shut down any capability of Aztec using its Jeff ult to send people off the map, any way of reclaiming space, and forcing Pirates into such an inconvenient and small and frankly very hard to fight room. Even with all the counterplay Pirates tried to employ, it felt like the duelists in that matchup never had a chance to shine. I'm looking at the stats right now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
2-6 on Vital, Dan.
Yeah, and that, but also look at Eggsy. We didn't talk about him a whole lot, but he was just frying in the back line of Zero Tenacity. No one on Pirates were able to shut him down. He only goes down once, and with 15 final hits for the Phoenix of Eggsy, this guy, I believe he's the captain of Zero Tenacity as well, and he's already going ballistic, and it's only map 1.
24-1, dude. That is an incredible stat line. And it's a tough spot to be in because historically we see Pirates maybe have slow starts at best when it comes to domination points. Maybe they'll give up that first sub map, but even that's a stretch. But usually they break it back with their overwhelming force on their duelist front. If they've been counter-stratted this early on, again, by the duelist against them, making return, get 5 and 6, on their stat feed, 2 elims and 6 total KOs against them, I'm very worried for Pirates. And that's a sentence I never thought I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, Pirates looking to slump a little bit, it feels like, because whatever Pirates tried to do, it just didn't work out. Because back in the group stage, just felt like whatever they do no wrong. Because of the sheer amount of mechanics that Pirates have at their disposal, because this is a team full of crazy levels of mechanical talent. Most notably, Vital, Hoodie, both of those players being on Crazy Raccoon and Genji respectively, have shined on those rosters in the past, and now joining together on this Pirates roster, you would assume that some of that talent would shine through, but it feels like the rest of the competition here in playoffs have done their homework, have watched a lot of tape on what Pirates have been doing, and have just countered it and shut it down perfectly. Because if you remember the band draft, Zero Tenacity, they know that Pirates really love putting return on that Daredevil, and if that Daredevil was available, Pirates probably could have popped off with the dive composition, but Zero Tenacity, they thought 2 steps ahead.
Hey, heavy is the head that lifts the crown, man. If you are the most watched team in the world, most likely, especially for Asia going in the playoffs, everyone's gonna know what you do to a micro beat, and that's what makes it incredibly tough, man.
Yeah, we'll see if it's going to get even tougher for Pirates as we take a short break. See where Pirates take us for map number 2. We'll figure that out in a few short minutes.
Dracula wishes to reclaim my city. You call yourselves New York's guardians. Now is the time to prove it. Thank you very much. Slice and dice! Ancestral sword! Strike! A gift from touch! Taste cold steel! Time to make the undead dead again. Curse thee, vile creature! Well done. Perhaps I'll give you the key to the city after this.
I shall feast on your bones! Ratatoster? What did Dracula do to you? You've got to fight, girl!
You truly believe yourself my equal? Pathetic. You have my thanks, but your vigilante antics have violated the law. You're under arrest. It never falls! Oh, go ma. Little
Things have already started up very interesting when it comes to the finals, or we're getting close to the finals, I should say. The lower finals of Asia playoffs here. My name is Keg, and I'm joined by Dan once again. Zero Tenacity coming out strong, shutting down the duelists of Pirates that have dominated and shown definition so far for 2026. Now they're on the back heel.
I mean, we've seen them in the back end before, right? Losing out to a clean sweep by Reject, who have looked so strong, but more on Reject later down the grand final. We're gonna talk about Zero Tenacity against Pirates. Zero Tenacity coming out with a huge win against Pirates is already insane because Pirates, you could argue they either got figured out, they were, well, how do I say it? They've saw the rest of the teams have solved the ban draft of Pirates, it just feels like, because whatever Pirates wanted to run, at least in that first map, they just couldn't do it because Zero Tenacity were able to shut it down before they even loaded onto the map. Shutting down Return's Daredevil meant that Pirates, even if they banned out the Invisible Woman and the White Fox to try to make those dive hits a little bit easier, just couldn't work to that full potential because Pirates just couldn't figure it out because Zero Tenacity, they did run the Loki and the Mantis team up, but Pirates were probably thinking, hey, we're confident enough to shut down the Loki Greens, either putting Fun on the Venom to go for those soft hits, or just click and take away the stones on top of those regen domains. But one thing's for certain though, Pirates will take us to Shin Shibuya. It's been popular for a lot of teams back in other regions, and it looks like Pirates are going to go for that approach instead of the Museum of Contemplation. They did pick it once, but they did lose out on it against Reject again, but now they look to switch things up a little bit. Take us to Shin Shibuya.
Yeah, a lot of teams like to go Convoy off of their first domination loss, and normally that makes a lot of sense, but when it's Museum of Contemplation and you're looking at Asia, that's normally the choice, and like you said, Dan, that's where Pirates always consistently lose. They don't want to go to Museum if they have the choice. Going to Shin Shibuya, I feel that this is a little risky just because, again, Convergence, you still have a domination point that you're going to have to win out. That didn't go well for Pirates. So if they can get past that first initial hurdle, I think the confidence levels of Pirates is going to go a lot up. But that ban draft is going to be so important here to make sure they can actually employ that.
Precisely. Zero Tenacity, they got away with the Mantis and the Loki team up. Pirates, do they want to run more of a dive composition again? But it's going to be up to how Zero Tenacity decide to figure out who they want to ban, because that Daredevil ban was insanely valuable for Zero Tenacity. Even though they were able to get away with sort of a bunker style composition, Zero Tenacity, they're going to be attacking first. Pirates choose to defend in round number 1, so we'll see how Zero Tenacity decide to use this ban draft. Do they want to favor it more so that they have the upper hand when it comes to the defensive side, or do they want to go for the more aggressive approach? Make sure they get as far as possible within this map so that Pirates, if they try to go for the attack, they're gonna have a really tough time.
Double Gambit bans early. No surprises just yet. Early reserve onto the Mantis. Zero Tenacity with Wendy made Mantis look so powerful. It was, I mean, look, obviously she's a strategist, made her look like a third duelist.
But the most valuable part about Mantis' kit is really that damage amplification. 12% damage boost, and if you can make it one-sided, which is exactly what Zero Tenacity are going to do again, is going to be insane. You have that slight edge in terms of how fast you can get your ultimates, and at times, it really did feel like that. Zero Tenacity were able to cycle their ultimates time and time again, and while Pirates were trying to look for countermeasures, Zero Tenacity were just winning in that ultimate race.
Daredevil ban from Zero Tenacity. That's a big shutdown once again. We're not really seeing any major changes at all from the ban drafts, except for maybe Pirates not opting to go for the Invisible Woman and or White Fox ban. Loki ban instead,
this is
very valuable.
This is already way better for Pirates. Take away the Loki so that you don't have to deal with the Vibrant Vitality. That proved to be the biggest issue when it came to trying to break through Zero Tenacity defense. Not only was it the Mantis and the Loki providing a lot of that damage amplification and the healing potential, it was also Marvel. The Mantis and the Groot, that is still a very strong team up. Even if you don't have access to the Loki, you're still giving your team a lot more sustain when you compare it to the side of Pirates, because they don't have the Mantis to work with, so they're not going to be able to match that sustain. And with their Tenacity finalizing their ban draft, Pirates look to do the same. They're going to actually save the Vanguard Deadpool that has been falling off a little bit as we head towards the tail end of preseason.
Now, Kaidia found a lot of value off the Vanpool, though, back in Domination. I will say, Ultron ban, even if Ultron's not the strongest strategist in the world, the fact, again, that he has that 10% damage amp is good right now for how these teams like to play. Won't be available anymore. Jerry popped off with him. Instead is relegating to the duelist role, going to a magic, attacking-wise early on. No,
there's no way. The Mantis is available. If you're not using the Mantis that you saved, you're actually trolling.
I can see a reality. I can see it.
I mean, that's what, a shout out to XOXO01 there by Zero Tenacity. Shout out to Sungjung Woo putting on a magical show back in Araco on day 1 of preseason. That was a fun one to watch. I'm glad you and I were able to watch that, but yeah, we're gonna see how Zero Tenacity roll out. Soko could channel TP, and he will do just that, making sure he goes up high so that if Pirates do something cheeky, they're not gonna be able to take this Doctor Strange off the map. Soko deciding where he wants to set up this teleport. Sometimes it's up in the high ground, sometimes it's down the low ground, and Soko looks to just let the rest of Zero Tenacity bunker up down here.
Bunkered up small building, that's the ZT way. Hiding inside any sort of building that you can, not be out in the open for as little as possible. Problem though is that you're going to have to be out in the open for this early cap. Pirates playing for the defense have a lot of verticality to work off of. Soko, who did not lose a single life, 0 KOs at all against him in game number 1, has to find a way to help keep his Groot alive, who has no shields, placing down those walls and making sure the verticality for Pirates is null and void.
I mean, Pirates are running dive again, right? Psylocke on return. Hoodie taking down Baser is already a great start for Pirates. Playing around this bunker-style playstyle that Zero Tenacity are running right now. Because Pirates, they want to run this dive. Return looking to find some sort of cheeky eliminations. Fun going in, trying to get some sort of line-of-sight manipulation. But with Zero Tenacity bunkered up, it's going to be a little bit difficult, but with Zero Tenacity starting to spread out a little bit, this is where Pirates' Psylocke can shine for just a little bit.
Yeah, a lot more flexibility for Return this time around, not forced into a pigeonhole of environmental control that Dominations like to have. Return again can play around the entirety of Shin Shibuya. Soko falls. Now it's XE2. Big, massive stagger for ZT.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Zero Tenacity decided to spread out there. They were fine running in the bunker. They were doing pretty well. But with Hoodie taking that 1v1 win against Baser just meant that Zero Tenacity, they probably got a little bit flustered. They're like, hey, we need to actually do something. We're down a person already in this first engagement, and we need to figure out something fast. So they try to spread out, try to get as much map space as possible, I'd assume, but they just could not make it work. Return goes in with the Dance of the Butterfly, zoning away Zero Tenacity because that time is already halfway done.
I know, but I'm looking at the ult stacking from ZT right now. Initiation tool, that's going to be the Strangling in prison, sending everybody away. But in return, Aztec, sacrificial play, question mark? It's going to be Baser and Soko, everybody in ZT fighting the nuclear option. Invisible boundary is down, sending everyone back to the spawn room. Vital does have Apex Predator set up and ready to go, but Hoodie, same with the Kumio Unleashed. Will it be used here as a denial tool? Seemingly no chance. Maybe Kumio's gonna be playing number one. Nakamoto in return. He does a mess directly onto the point early on, and I don't blame them. Pirates have to shut this down before that final tick goes by, and they fail to do so. We're in Convoy Town.
Yeah, fun switching over to the Loki so that they can use the regeneration domain to try to get themselves through the portal safely. But Zero Tenacity just shut it down quick as you like it. Great wombo combo coming in from Marvel and Eggsy with the Ensong Inferno into the Strangling Prison. Was very well used. And now Zero Tenacity, they get the first checkpoint. They want to go for the second. Pirates do have Vital with Glartrox ready to go.
Still holding on
but Vital has been pretty quiet so far. Map number 1 hasn't been the best for him. Now he's looking to get a redemption arc here in map number 2. Can he find some sort of clutch potential with this Elsa Bloodstone?
Is he just waiting for a massive funnel from ZT? It has to be conditioning where this attacking team wants to play. They're playing in these small buildings that are made essentially Glartrox proof. Oh, never mind.
Trying, but there it is.
Will it work? Somewhat. It's struggling at present directly on top. A mess of colors everywhere. Kumio in return. Baser is there to ensure at least a few more hints of damage to deny the capabilities of the Glartrox. Didn't see a lot from it.
Yeah, Marvel is stunning up a few members of Pirates, and then Baser just goes into the Kumiho Unleash and just slams down with the AoE damage. And with that, Zero Tenacity are just putting down the ultimate combo so well. Pirates, they're looking staggered. They don't know what to do, it feels like, because no one on Pirates have some sort of combo of an ultimate available. Yeah, you could argue Fun and Aztec have their ultimates, but they don't really do so well together.
No, Aztec has been a lot more of an emergency tool, using it as a displacement against ZT, especially when that combo gets close to a point, and it most certainly is. East of the Abyss starts first, that's the Venom out inside of a building. Hoodie there for return, does take down Jerry. Strong start, visible boundary out now, massive heals, but won't last forever. Toko could return after it dissipates for maybe an Agamotto. Dance with the butterfly, up and above, cutting away into the back line. That's one, make that three gone now, double KO for return.
Alright, Pirates will stabilize for the time being. Great ultimate coming in from return. Zero Tenacity tried to counter it by stacking on top of each other so that those slashes from the Cutterfly don't get the eliminations, but unfortunately it just was not enough. Zero Tenacity didn't have a strategist ultimate to go off of because Jerry got eliminated at around 84%. He couldn't get his ultimate down in time, so Zero Tenacity gonna have to hit the reset button. Pirates have a chance to get a lot of space here.
Soul Resurgence will be huge here for Jerry. On top of a bunch of other ults, Marvel's close to strangling Prison once again. That would be a massive way of turning this back around. Kadia maybe could bring out Banhammer momentarily, but there's plenty of other ults that we need to keep our eyes on first. Ensong Inferno, Xy's way, all through the wild though. Could there be a chance now for It's Jeff? Absolutely, my friend. Waiting for that ult to come through. Fun, not long for this world. Soul Resurgence in return is gonna help break this convoy apart, nearly back in CT's claim. And through it all, more and more individual KOs remove Pirates from the equation. You're staggered again, Dan.
I mean, Pirates had a good start to that fight, putting Xy at low HP to force him to use the Ensong Inferno, but here comes the counter. Whoa! Oh my goodness, the Vanguards of Zero Tenacity coming up huge with all the CC, all of the damage. Maelstrom into the Strangling Prison is absolutely sublime. Zero Tenacity coming in with a bang on the second checkpoint.
Gotta give it to Hoodie though. Forcing out Kumiho Unleashed and making Agamotto and the Strangling Prison used at once. That's two critical pieces of the arsenal ZT won't have for this next fight.
And now Pirates, look at their ultimate economy. It's so low. Fun does have the feast, but there's really not much follow-up on the side of Pirates to work off of. Fun is only going to have to use it to maybe try to find an elimination to the likes of Baser or Wendy, who do have strategist ultimates coming up very soon. And with Pirates lagging so far behind in this ultimate economy, Zero Tenacity do have so many options to work with, and there's already one of them used.
And Song Inferno directly into the heart of the invisible boundary. Very unlucky that no impact was found. Just an initiation tool to give free space to Wendy and co. There it is though, Banhammer early on. No chance of a Strangling Prison just yet. Kumio has most certainly been unleashed directly on top of the convoy, creating even more space for Zero Tenacity to be anti-Pirates.
And that's exactly what they do, right? They use their ultimates, try to get themselves through into this third checkpoint. Aztec gets a random frag onto Xy. So that's already a good start for Pirates if they want to stabilize yet again. 15 seconds left. We're going to final fight territory.
Surely Aztec is going to keep this for overtime. No, never mind. Not going to use it for anti-convoy, and instantly gets assassinated for the attempt. Not what you want to see. Zero Tenacity, though, they're not out of the woods just yet. They've claimed back the convoy, but they have a small meter to go before they can claim that third point. Strangely in prison, Beasts of the Abyss, every single monstrous ult brought down at once. And through it all, I'm keeping a very careful eye on Hoodie. Kumio will be unleashed. Vital will be there for Dance of the Butterfly to help create that space once again. Surely now for Zero Tenacity, Dan, they should not be able to get this third.
Yeah, I mean, Wendy is so close to the invisible boundary. It's a matter of time if Wendy's able to get it up and ready to go in time. Pirates are waiting to go for the go button. Great push, it looked like, to deny Vital from getting some sort of valuable, but they still make it work. Hoodie comes up huge. Vital and Hoodie make it a double-double as the rest of Z10 wiped out of existence. Pirates will get the hold down, and now it's their turn to match it.
Wonderful work from Pirates, finally getting their act together when it mattered most at the very end of that convoy. 2 points now, no chance for overtime. Zero Tenacity, even if they're a game up, Dan, they still have work cut out for them.
The matter of what Pirates decide to go for. This time around, the Psylocke is proving to be valuable. They go away from the Elsa Bloodstone. They realize, hey, this isn't working too well. Vital is looking to use it again, at the very least for this first engagement on the attack side here in round number 2. Zero Tenacity got up to 2 points, but now it's their turn on the defensive side. How does Zero Tenacity decide to go for this? Maybe they just run the exact same composition. I don't hate this
Don't fix
idea.
what's not broken, man.
Yeah, exactly. But now what do Pirates decide to go for? That's the big question here, because Pirates...
For the Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah, they're going for the Cloak and Dagger instead of the White Fox. But Cloaky, still a very strong composition. Usually the Hoodie, if he had access to the Invisible Woman, would have most definitely have gone for that. But with the Invisible Woman banned out, you have to go for the next best option. It's going to be the Cloak and Dagger. Cloaky has been pretty strong of a strategist lineup. It might be one of the strongest 2 strategist lineups in the entire game at the current moment.
I mean, the big way to normally shut down Cloak and Dagger and or Aztec on the Loki too, right, is going to be the Magneto. We don't see that from Zero Tenacity. Maybe there's a reality where Marvel or Soko switch over and get the Meteor M set up once they identify the Cloak and Dagger. That could be a way to turn things around, but right now, the potential red carpet leading directly to the point is a huge initiation tool Pirates need to stack up.
Yeah, but as much as they want to do that, you got Soko on the Doctor Strange. That's his comfort pick. He could probably switch over to the Magneto if he wants to. But Marvel would most certainly doesn't want to go towards that option, because you don't want to give up the team up between the Mantis and the Groot. So Marvel's essentially locked into playing this Groot. How do Pirates decide to approach the situation? That wall of healing is so far being so valuable on the side of Zero Tenacity, and look what's happening, because Pirates, they're looking for poke opportunities, but Zero Tenacity are just out-sustaining them outright.
Hey, no disagreements from me. The thing, though, about Marvel being on this Groot is that Soko's there for that extra protection and has to stay near his other Vanguard. A lot of openings for Zero Tenacity to have much more of their squishier players exposed. We see them inside this building, fighting up front on 2 ends. Could they find value here? Maybe. Banhammer starts out early on. There is damage amplification on the members of ZT from the hands of Jerry. Marvel does have Strangling Prison ready. That's one. It's the opposite Groot. Tree versus tree, and one falls. That's fun gone. And though top of the building return, Lang Sniper is good for chipping that damage away. Finally gets the Unsong Inferno on top of the Clar Trucks. Hello! Did not see you coming right there. Soko removes Vital from the equation. On top of that, though, Eternal Bond early on, directly onto the point. This is a way to add that pressure on the ZT once again. But Pirates are losing bodies. They've lost the ban pool. They're soon to lose, possibly return as well. I don't see them getting healed up. A portal is out all of a sudden, and an assassination from above. Return never saw it coming.
And Pirates just cannot get a single percentage point. That fight lasted so long. Soko even committing the portal very safely, in fact, and not even using it on the point, just using it behind it instead, because he had faith in Zero Tenacity. He knew that they are able to out-sustain Pirates. Pirates are going to have to go back to the drawing board. They're going to look to maybe spread out and try to go for more dive attempts, more of that assassination potential, but Zero Tenacity are just looked to be locked in. There is nothing Pirates can really do right now, because they're trying everything and nothing is working until Return looks to eat my words.
Dan, you were harping up on that Loki Clo composition. They swapped back to the Jeff and White Fox. That cannot be good for them.
I mean, if you're gonna try to look for different options, the first step is to maybe adjust the team composition. Aztec with the Jeff has access to the Deadpool and the Venom team up, so this 2 strategist backline is able to be functioned. But Hoodie needs to come up huge with this White Fox. Baser is gonna kick things off with the Kumiho Unleashed. but it's only going to be a momentary abatement for Zero Tenacity because Pirates are going to, at the very least, hit the go button very, very soon.
That's right. Look at those ults building up now. Pirates want to push the nuclear button. That's going to be Baser for 2.
Wow.
A double KO early on. Hoodie, who made a huge statement with the early release of White Fox, showing off what she could do so early on to our preseason group stage. It's Baser there now. Not even getting the torch passed. Stealing it away from Hoodie, it seems.
I mean, Pirates, they were starting to get themselves ready to go for some sort of engagement. And then they were like, all right, are we all ready? Oh, wait, hold on. They used the Strangling Prison. There goes all the team, and they just can't get it to go. They're counting down, and as soon as they hit the go button, Marvel's there to shut it all down. And now with Final Fight territory coming in, this is their final chance to, at the very least, try to cap this first checkpoint.
There it is. Yellow Beam, watch it down. Don't want it to go underway if you're a fan of Pirates, but it has no choice. So many ultimates available. Song Inferno, dance of the butterfly, destroy the innards of a building. Aztec brings out its Jeff. Yum, yum, yum. Where does it go? I don't see the ultimate on my screen, but it's directly onto the point. Did it steal anybody away? The answer seems to be yes. That's Zero Tenacity gone. A third tick achieved. We go to Convoy.
Vital came up huge in that team fight. Dance of the Butterfly finds Jerry. Jerry had the Soul Resurgence ready to go, but didn't want to use it because Wendy already popped the invisible boundary. But Wendy was safe. Jerry wasn't. And with Jerry not able to be there to extend that team fight means that Pirates get the first checkpoint. They get 2.5 minutes into the bank, and then Soko aggressively portals in to try to cut off Aztec, it looks like.
Look, you've already lost the convoy at the the domination point at the very end of that. You almost had it in your grasp, Zero Tenacity. Now's a chance to go for the early stop. Plenty of time on the clock, even if we're not ignoring the one up above. If you can hold the distance and fight for OT, point 1, that's the way to go. D from behind, looking for the assassination. Psylocke nearly got away, but no. A quick headshot at the end sends Vital back to the spawn room. Marvel set up and ready for that Strangling Prison. It's the majority of the players are Pirates. What is that, a quad? A double? Make that a triple for the Groots.
3 get caught up by the Strangling Prison from downtown. Eggsy even going to the back line, using that off angle to catch Vital off guard. He tried to dash away, but Eggsy just flicks him down. The mechanics on this guy is absolutely insane. We've seen him pop off in past titles. He's popping off here in Marvel Rivals. And Zero Tenacity, they're looking to pick up what they lost because Pirates, they get the first checkpoint, but it looks like Zero Tenacity are just going to keep them away from the second.
And the scary thing about Pirates right now is that their most consistent factor has been ult dumps. 57 seconds left on the clock, 2 ults ready, soon to be Vitals and Aztecs. Are you going to use it all here, or do you have to wait for OT and just push the convoy as much as well? Answer's already been found. Song Inferno's out, Banhammer underway. Vital close to getting that Dance of the Butterflies. You are just unleashing everything one by one, forcing out ults from Zero Tenacity's side. That's Kumio, that's Ensong. Neither one of them finding KOs or displacement. Pirates do not care. They are directly on to the point. Invisible boundary is down, and Hoodie's there to remove Z from the equation. We've talked about how powerful he's been. Having him gone should allow Pirates to get more distance on this convoy, but I don't see him moving too much.
Nope, Soko is threatening with the Eye of Agamotto. Marvel and Soko could come up huge yet again. Here we go. The stun is only onto Fun Fun. Marvel could follow things up with the Strangling Prison because a lot of eyes have been focused onto Soko. Maybe even a few cooldowns being invested. So here goes Marvel with the Strangling Prison. Does lock up Fun Fun, so he's going to be taken down. And with 2 down with overtime coming up is already bad news. Vital's going to channel the TP.
What's going to happen with Pirates now? They don't have too many ults set up and ready just yet. They're going to have to fight neutral directly on the convoy before it sets up. That's the Kumio's job. It's been unleashed. Soul Resurgence in return. Jerry wants everything. Damage amp only into Soko. Has Exy there on top as well. Return has fallen. One big power player for damage for Pirates no longer available. Hides behind the enemy portal. Uses it to their advantage. Waits for the It's Jeff. Where is Aztec going to go? He's going to swallow up somebody. Don't see where it went, but the heals are down, and that's going to help for the convoy. It's the Kumio once more. The White Fox has been unleashed directly onto the convoy. They're targeting Fun Fun. The Venom must escape. Play for his own life. The Song Inferno comes through, and that doesn't find much, but still, that yellow beam. Someone's got to stay onto the convoy. Who's playing for the displacement? It's one player. Recap from ZT. They take map 2.
That was an intense overtime sequence. Both sides just dumped ultimates as soon as it came online and ready to go. I got a little bit concerned for Zero Tenacity. They lost Eggsy, who was really close to the End Song Inferno, couldn't get it off in time, and then Pirates just couldn't find the extra sustain, and the rest of Zero Tenacity, off of some great placement on their offensive ultimates, put them over the line and are putting themselves one map closer to get themselves a date against Reject.
Something we didn't think we'd be saying going into this tournament. Elimination point now against Pirates. Not even in grand finals. We're in the lower bracket finals. Pirates had to fight tooth and nail to get to where they're at now, and so did Zero Tenacity. They've been the true wild card of this region.
I mean, shout out to Marvel going absolutely ballistic on the group. 15 final hits, 36 eliminations. These numbers make it look like he was the duelist of the team, but no, that's Groot. That's Groot, my friend. That's a really hard-hitting tree.
You talked about, too, that there might be some uncomfortability with Marvel playing Groot. Not to say that he can't play Groot, but he has a lot of vanguards that he could have lined up. But his duality with Soko has been Fort Knox in locking down the entirety of these points, dude.
I mean, what Soko can play, Marvel can also play as well, so this guy has a deep hero pool, and if Pirates are gonna figure out a way to break through what Zero Tenacity are throwing at them, Pirates just look so disjointed. They look like they've been figured out. It just looked like whatever Pirates wanted to go for, Zero Tenacity were just quicker to it. You saw in some of those engagements, Pirates were prepping for a huge hit with their ultimates to dump onto Zero Tenacity, but then Zero Tenacity, they use one ultimate and that entire plan just goes up in smoke. So Pirates, they're gonna really need to go to the drawing board because their backs are against the wall. Something that we quite literally have not expected. This is a team that went on a 16-map win streak and now are putting themselves in a do-or-die scenario.
Is it a sinking ship? Has it been the last plunder of Pirates? Will they be able to dock once again? We'll have to find out after this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It could very well be the end of a dynasty here. Pirates, they've sailed the 7 seas. They have found many highs and right now, plenty of lows. They have yet to win a game in the lower bracket up against Zero Tenacity, and this could very well be their last chance, Dan.
I mean, back's against the wall for Pirates at the current moment. Do or die scenario. Pirates just... I don't know how to say this, because it just feels like everyone else... I mean, everyone else just got leveled up just so much, and Pirates, I just feel like they just stagnated. They hit the peak, and then they just kind of plateaued there, and then everyone else just started to climb higher and higher. And in terms of this power level, it looks like Pirates are slumping a little bit. Zero Tenacity are on the uptick, so we're just seeing that supernova of a collision in terms of how these teams fare out. We could have seen a very, very even matchup, but right now, Zero Tenacity just looked to be, I said this way back, they just look to be 2 steps ahead against Pirates. And with Pirates going to Midtown, does that mean Pirates are going to go less of a die composition? Because Midtown is very, very anti-die favored.
You're going to have to think of something new because I have bad news, Dan. We saw Reject play against Pirates and Midtown in the upper bracket. It didn't go well for Pirates. They lost 1-3.
Yeah, it looked rough. Reject, I mean, they're on a whole different level in terms of that glow up right now. But Pirates, though, I'm a little bit concerned. They came in hot, and then now they're starting to fizzle out for a little bit and Zero Tenacity. How do you keep that train going? You have to finish strong here if you want to prevent Pirates from getting any sort of comeback potential. I mean, Pirates do have that. They have a chance to come back here. It's still one more map, right? Pirates, you just have to win 3 maps and complete the reverse sweep, but
you make it sound so
step
easy.
1. I mean, it sounds easy, but I mean, again, with how strong Zero Tenacity are performing right now, Pirates look just ever so slightly disjointed, right? These combinations of ultimates just never came out from Pirates, whereas Zero Tenacity, they were able to sequence them well. Marvel going in with the Groot ult, Eggsy on the Phoenix, following it up to get some extra damage down, and that coordination on Zero Tenacity brought them over the edge over Pirates, who are just kind of just using them one at a time, just like, yeah, we're gonna use it, pray and see if it works out. Sometimes it works, but it doesn't work every time. And that's the difference between how Zero Tenacity are playing and how Pirates are playing at the current moment.
You know, the most confident we've seen Pirates so far this entire set was them on the attack side for Shin Shibuya. They ult dumped, what was it, 3, 4, maybe even 4.5 leading into 5 ultimates to get onto that convoy point and take out Zero Tenacity. That confirmed the point for them. That worked. Why aren't we seeing more ult dumps?
I mean, it's just inconsistent, right? You go for the ult dumps, but sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We've seen it happen for Pirates. They go for the ultimate dumps, Zero Tenacity counter it well, and then Pirates are just like, all right, we that was our plan. We tried to overwhelm them with all the resources we had, and we got nothing out of it. So now what? You have nothing to rebound on. Zero Tenacity still have a beefy ultimate economy because, quite frankly, they only use 1 or 2 to shut down what you guys did when you tried to invest 3 or 4 of those ultimates.
So you say it's the consistency, it's the lack of ult synergy. I mean, on the individual level, I feel like each of the players have done pretty well. I know maybe the Jeff is a bit of a point of concern, but we saw Wendy start rocking the Jeff towards the very end too. But Aztec on its Jeff hasn't been finding a lot of value. I mean, it feels like most of these ults have been read really well, and then just get destroyed mid-thunkenness when it goes in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, Pirates... I mean, Aztec is a good Jeff. Don't get me wrong. This guy is really, really good on that hero. But this series, he doesn't look like himself right now. He goes for those It's Jeff ultimates, like you said, and he gets eliminated instantly. And Zero Tenacity, either they're reading Pirates very, very well, or Pirates themselves are starting to slump a little bit, because this is not the Aztec that we are used to. This guy is a really good Jeff. This guy's a really good Loki, but I'm not entirely sure, because something had to have gone wrong in terms of their prep going into playoffs, because one, you're the team to beat coming out of groups, everyone is figuring out how to solve your ban draft, how to solve that playstyle that you guys have been doing so well. And I feel like if you want to pop off in the Pirates camp, you're gonna have to come out huge with either some clutch plays or just better team cohesion.
So let me ask you, do you think Jeff wholesale is the answer here for Aztec?
I mean, Pirates, they really love the Jeff, right? They really love
They had
putting
Cloaky available.
They do, but I mean, Aztec having the option to go for the Deadpool team up, having options to go for the Venom team up, that just provides so much flexibility in terms of how Aztec wants to pilot the Jeff. Either you will stay far back and just heal the entire team, or you go up close and personal with the dive composition that Pirates have been really trying to force. Putting Vital on the Psylocke, return if the Daredevil is available, will go for it if he so chooses to. And then the Aztec can just really, again, play far back or play up close, help out the dive with the symbiote shenanigans, tether up everyone, get the healing down. And that's what Pirates have been really doing, but again, it's just not working out for them.
Well, I'm happy to say the Keg and Dan podcast seems to be over. We're just about ready for map number 3. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to the Marvel Rivals channel. We would appreciate it. And momentarily, we'll be into the bans and drafts.
I mean, I hope we didn't bore you guys.
No, we could never.
We're just dumping.
Most
Dumping our
entertaining
knowledge.
humans alive, man.
Oh, yeah.
But, totally.
Yeah.
Word on the street is that Dan is going to faceplant in a cake at the end of this song. I don't know. You want to stick around?
I don't know who said that, but if you want to stick around, maybe see something crazy. Maybe see something crazy, but you gotta get those Twitch drops as well.
Oh,
keep
true.
that in mind. But also, while we're yapping away here on the Asia broadcast, you also got OC's group stage happening as well on the Marvel Rivals OCE Twitch channel. So if you want to dual wield some Marvel Rivals Ignite action, be sure to boot up that Twitch stream as well, while us going through this ban draft, as Pirates have to come up with something here, because one more map loss and they are done for. They're gonna have to settle with 3rd place if they don't win this map.
Every pirate story comes to an end, but we didn't think it would come out here. They still have one chance to turn it around, though. Elsa, reserve from Pirate's side. I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't think they should be reserving Elsa anymore. I understand it's a comfort pick, but we really haven't seen Vital use Elsa at all.
No, I mean, we've seen him use it, but Zero Tenacity just shut it down completely. It just felt like Pirates weren't getting the value that they wanted with this Elsa reserve, and they now keep going to try to maybe either go for dive composition again, or maybe start to reel back, go for a more brawly style composition that has been rising up in the end of preseason. So Zero Tenacity banning away the Daredevil means that Pirates' dive are going to be very weak, and Zero Tenacity are not going to be given access to the Strange as well.
No, Doctor Strange ban is going to hurt Zero Tenacity quite a bit. We've seen Soko absolutely pop off. I've taken a look at chat a few times, and everyone is singing the praises of Soko so much. So losing out on him, I think, is going to be a devastating start. But him rocking the Magneto, I think, could inadvertently also be a buff, just considering how strong the Meteor M can be in dictating a lot of these ult digressions.
Yeah, I mean, Pirates also have access to Cloaky, so if Pirates do decide to go that option in terms of strategist backline, Zero Tenacity have countermeasures. Soko with the Meteor M, very common in terms of shutting down that Cloak and Dagger if that Cloak and Dagger does misstep a tiny bit. Pirates, however, look at their team composition. This is very similar to what they ran back in map number 1. Hoodie on the White Fox, Aztec on the Jeff, getting access to the Deadpool and the Venom team up so that he is given so much healing in order to be facilitated inside of that 2 strategist backline, while Return and Vital on the Psylocke and the Elsa respectively means that they can dive, but they can at the very least brawl as well. So we'll see how Pirates decide to defend against Zero Tenacity, who are rolling out with the Groot Mantis team up.
Gotta say, the big change though, Return had been Wolverine originally, then swapped to the Psylocke in that domination matchup. Hopefully Return can find value here. I think his Psylocke has been a big silver lining in the Pirates matchup, taking these off angles and removing away a lot of the strategist pressure that was relatively unspoken for outside of him. So Jerry early on utilizing the environment much to his control. Hoodie up above, gets these early heals. So far, just ult build up City.
Yeah, they're just poking and prodding. Kaidia will get access to the Banhammer or the big test. Depends on what he wants to go for. Is able to get backline access. When does he decide to pull the trigger is the big question. But he does put a lot of pressure on the backline of Zero Tenacity, so they're going to have to reel back. And with Pirates getting a lot of that space on the side areas means that Pirates can essentially do whatever they want, but with Marvel taking down Vital like that, that plan is going to fizzle out very, very fast.
Strong start, unfortunately. Glarchox will have to wait. Kaidia in the back line of ZT did get Banhammer out. I believe that was on the strategists. At least has the swayment for a little bit. Zero Tenacity starting to get this convoy moving up and again, but no one's taking vertical control. Hoodie and company finding value. Jerry's gone. Jumps down below. Kumio soon to be unleashed. 80%. Aztec, it's Jeff out. Where will the shark go? Inside. Oh, inside that small room. Gonna help out well. No environmental control to go for a KO. You have to play for displacement. It's gonna be imprisonment once again. And all the Pirates seem to be strangled away.
Wow, Zero Tenacity, they get picked off by Pirates because of how Pirates were playing around the map. They don't play in the main area. They were taking over all of the side rooms and try to clamp down and restrict Zero Tenacity to, at the very least, get a hold onto the convoy. But Zero Tenacity were able to get the counter punch down. They were able to get the counter picks that they need in order to keep this convoy moving, getting closer and closer to that first checkpoint. We're going to see an ult dump to try to see who comes out on top.
Wonderful work. Dance of the Butterflies is a bounce. Soko does have Meteor and waiting for something. Doesn't matter. Vital's gone. Glarchox wheeled her down. Huge way of getting P1.
What is going on with Vital right now? Usually he's been popping off with the hit scan heroes. The Elsa Bloodstone has been so good for him, but either Vital is not playing to his full potential or Zero Tenacity are just playing as a team just way better, because Pirates, again, I mean, they go for the rotational plays. They were able to take over the side rooms, but once they got closer and closer to the main area, they just got their teeth kicked in, it felt like.
Yeah, it really feels like Vital's not living up to a full Elsa potential that we've seen and hyped up the entirety of this season. Instead, it has been the Phoenix to find more wonders. Return Exy early on, duking it out across the different buildings. Can they find impact here? Phaser? Maybe. Kumio has been unleashed.
Oh, double stack.
Oh no, double stack ultimates directly on top of the invisible boundary. That's truly unlucky. Aztec there eats it away. Phaser's good for sure, man. That's two gone for them. Kadia is there at least for the Banhammer. That's going to sway things more. Vital for the return factor. Two strategists now down.
I mean, good counter attack coming in from Pirates. They realize that Zero Tenacity screwed up a little bit. Baser and Wendy both popping their ultimates at the exact same time is already bad news in terms of ultimate economy. So Zero Tenacity, they're gonna be missing out on some of that sustainability. And Pirates, having returned close to that Dance of the Butterfly, fun close to the feast, means that they could go for the aggressive move and get value out of it. Pirates will need to stabilize very quickly if they want to stay alive in this map number 3.
Could be an ult dump down, strangling prisons out. Zero Tenacity building up their arsenal quite a bit. Unlucky ultimate there for Marvel. Didn't really find much. Aztecs there for the trade. Jerry's gone. No more damage amp from the Mantis. I'm looking at return. That's going to be Dance of the Butterfly soon.
That Soul Resurgence gone on Zero Tenacity for a little bit, so he's going to have to speed run his way back into the site. While Exy's trying to put pressure onto the off angles of Pirates. Pirates still are not getting their ultimates in time. Return, yeah, he got to the Dance of the Butterfly, will use it immediately, but Jerry is already back into the fight. But he's not even going to be using it because Wendy's there with the invisible boundary.
There it is, no more double stack this time. Baser a little ways off from getting Kumiho unleashed. Wendy, though, invisible boundaries out, prevents any more extra damage from return post-mortem. It's Jeff is out once again. Banhammer directly on top. We're seeing Pirates find these ult dumps once again. Endsong Inferno could have gotten the KO, but Aztec just barely out of range. It leads to a Soul Resurgence. This is going to work well. None the matter, though, with the Feast of the Abyss. Doesn't find a lot of impact. Zero Tenacity, not even moving off this convoy, are geared up to take this second point.
And quick as you like it. Albeit Pirates putting up a bit of a fight there. Zero Tenacity should be able to get to the second checkpoint in
Kumio.
time. Baser will have to invest. The Kumio
Hold on
Unleashed
now.
takes down Hoodie, who just got it. And Baser was able to get the key elimination to make sure that Pirates don't have any more sustain to work with. They will get that second checkpoint and add 90 more seconds to the time bank.
It feels like even with the ult stacked up for Pirates side, they have impact, but it's so quick, and Tenacity's recovery is so strong that it doesn't last very long. 2 minutes on the clock, there's not enough time.
They should know Pirates have the Kumio Unleashed. Zero Tenacity, without any ultimates besides Marvel on the Strangling Prison, they're gonna have to find a way to either bait out Hoodie to use the Kumio Unleashed, or just wait for Kumio Unleashed to come out and then go for their moves. There's the Strangling Prison onto 2, but there's great peels coming in from Hoodie, and he's able to extend this fight with some extra AoE damage.
Great job on the Kumiho, forcing the peel back from Zero Tenacity. They're going to have to recall themselves just for a bit, instead of for the Unsung Inferno.
We'll see how Vital decides to pilot it. Maybe use it as a safety measure, because quite frankly, there's really not many ways to use it aggressively. He's going to try to just shred down the Vanguards, go for a different vantage point up in the high ground, but Exy is still frying the backline.
Just can't take a 1v1. When Exy's on the board, that's Return, falling victim to them once again. Aztec very quick to get this It's Jeff back into the fray. Soon to be unleashed, I'm sure. Banhammer was used, but unfortunately, Kadia cannot find much.
Yep, everyone on Pirates will have to hit the reset button. Kaidia is going to have to reset and regroup with the rest of the team. Zero Tenacity are closing in onto that final checkpoint. Soko is threatening with the Meteor M. Exy is there with the Ensong Inferno. This could be a devastating combo, but here comes Return on top of Fun. There's the Wombo combo we needed to see from Pirates. That's the way to stabilize, and Pirates will finally get that team wipe that they also needed.
30 seconds left. No Doctor Strange available. No portals to use. It's a straight shot back in, and Return is now a raid boss that the entirety of ZT have to figure out how to defeat.
I mean, Soko, Exy have the Ensong Meteor Wombo combo. Return is there with a quick elimination. Wendy's gone.
That's one gone. Return wants to stack it up again. 25%. No chance for Butterfly anytime soon. From behind, no one's watching out for Psylocke. A triple for Return. Could this be a quad? It very well could be. But from behind, 2 seconds left. The journey ends here. Zero Tenacity on the attack. Overtime is out. Marvel, the only one directly onto the convoy.
No Doctor
It's
Strange.
been cat back. No Strange. No portal. No problem, says Pirates. They have found their form again, at least for this defense.
Oh, better late than never, right? Pirates finally find a way to stabilize with the Venom Psylocke Wombo combo. Feast of the Abyss to provide the anti-heal, get that percent health damage as well, and then Return goes in, slashes everyone down so that even if Zero Tenacity tried to stack together to try to even out the damage of the Dance of the Butterfly, you're just putting yourself into a situation where Fun could get a multi-man bite with the Venom ultimate, and then Return just finishes them off, cleans them up, quick as you like it, and that was where Zero Tenacity will have to finish with. They're gonna get 2 points, but Pirates, again, they're gonna have to match it, and that was the only first time we saw some sort of team cohesion in terms of ultimate synergy.
I agree, but I will add the caveat that Pirates on their defense versus Shibuya before they got that final tick, they looked pretty decent too against Zero Tenacity. But again,
Yeah.
close quarters,
30
old
seconds
dumps,
before you
really
attack.
the same
Get
thread of the
ready.
story that they relied on to get that impact. I don't know if they can find the same, well, I guess impact when it comes to their attack.
I mean, yeah, you say that the ult dumps were good for Pirates, but it just felt like it was happening one after the other. Like, after one player uses an ultimate, then the next player goes. They don't really use it at the exact same time. Because there were times where Return back in Shin Shibuya did find some key eliminations to shut down certain strategists' ultimates. But that's really where it ends. Pirates need to keep this going if they want to, at the very least, put up a fight in this best of 5 series.
Vitals back on Elsa. Have not been a fan of it this series. Exy showing, yeah, Return, gone. Like the wind. Huge work early on, full control of these upper buildings. I expect a very quick Phoenix swap.
I mean, we'll see if Zero Tenacity decide to opt for that. But for now, Vital sticking to the Elsa Bloodstone. The hero is strong, but Vital piloting the Elsa has been very, very quiet. Pirates are going to have to make all the space that they need. Return, going for a reposition. Having Hoodie at his side means that he can go and challenge those off angles, but Xe is doing just that, making sure Return doesn't get any more ground, but he's going to go for the more aggressive approach here.
Convoy slowly moves, 3 minutes left. Marvel on Captain America, no longer the group, probably expecting some sort of hard counter to the walls that he would bring. Banhammer's out though, that's against Jerry. He's going to force the dial back and play for these heals. That's going to relegate a lot of heals away from ZT's front line. They need as much as they can get here.
I feel like it's a little too late to realize this, but Marvel on the Captain America means that the Groot is not going to be available on the side of Zero Tenacity. Not quite sure what triggered that sort of pick on the side of Zero Tenacity, right? but it's working. It's working perfectly.
How you know, Return's just been running around everywhere taking off angles, and I think they assumed maybe Vital would stick to the Phoenix off the get-go and try to find those off angles as well, but right now, Pirates playing very solo, away from each other, trying to get chip damage any which way they go. Marvel's finding a lot of information off these solo fights.
And he's got the Freedom Charge to boot as well. That's 3 safety nets on the side of Zero Tenacity. 3 layers to rebound the aggressive approach coming in from Pirates. Vital does have the Apex Predator ready to go, but he needs to find the perfect mark or else he's just going to get eliminated. Marvel going in aggressively with the Freedom Charge, making sure that Zero Tenacity have the ultimate economy to work with, because after Marvel goes away, Zero Tenacity have 5 more ults to work with.
Freedom's charged away, 5 ults to work with now. Baser could be the initiating factor. We don't want to see a double stack up or triple stack up at worst case of these 3 strategists. Dance of the Butterflies is out, Soul Resurgence underway, Fun is out for the Feast of the Abyss. Try to make magic happen twice. 1 KO at the very least, it's not all for naught. And even then, ZT, a complete team wipe. A minute 20 left for the defense. They still have plenty of ults to work with.
Yeah, at the very least, Zero Tenacity are holding on to their ultimates. They still have 1 more fight. That convoy will not get to that first checkpoint in time. Pirates, they do use the Venom Psylocke Wombo combo again. Vital catches out Marvel, but that's only the Captain America. That's not the biggest target. Wendy, however, is a bigger one.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on Baser here to bring out that Kumiho Unleashed. Hoodie as well has it on the
There
arsenal.
we go.
Slice and dice away, not even needing a Wolverine. That's Soko down.
That's what we want to see out of Pirates, as a quick cut to Aztec just holding down the left click on the convoy. Whereas Zero Tenacity, they tried to, at the very least, put themselves in a situation where they wanted to stall out Pirates on that first checkpoint. Wendy even using the invisible boundary, but he just gets insta-bursted, so that invisible boundary just went up for about a few seconds and then instantly gone, quick as you like it.
And the heals, though. There's only 2. It's Hoodie and Aztec holding the back line. There's 3 strats for Zero Tenacity on this defense. Kadia's good for 1. Xyz falls. That's going to be the tip of the spear that Zero Tenacity won't have available for quite a while now. 2 minutes 30 on the clock. Plenty of players on ZT holding on to their ult for an unusual amount of time. And a lot of it has promoted staggering, too.
I feel like Soko's not getting the value that he wants. He's been holding on to that Meteor M for so long. Pirates just not giving him an opportunity. Yeah, I'd assume it'd be for Aztec if he does go for an aggressive It's Jeff ultimate instead of using it to reposition, but Hoodie goes in with the Kumiho Unleashed. Xy's looking for a good time to use the Ensong Inferno. Doesn't quite get the value, but I'd assume he had to use it to get that health reset down. Aztec now going in. Soko, does he use the Meteor to try to shut it down?
Plenty of ults used all at once. A flurry of colors. Absolute chaos. Soko finally gets the achievement. Aztec falls mid-ult. Don't have to worry about Jeff anymore. A minute 45 left. Potentially a Pirates run inside of Preseason.
Yeah, but Xe doing what he does best, just clicks away to the back line of Pirates. They're gonna have to reset. Zero Tenacity finally stabilized. We'll take control of the high ground, but with Pirates running that dive composition without that space provided initially means that they're gonna have to navigate into Zero Tenacity's territory, and that's going to be where dive composition is going to be difficult to work with, because if you have no space, you can't run dive.
It's the belly of the beast, Dan. Vital has Glartrox available, and that could be a good way to upset that stomach, but Invisible Boundary is a shutdown potential, but is it worth using to be anti-Apex Predator?
I mean, everyone on Zero Tenacity are playing up towards the high ground. Unless Vital was able to get access to it for a quick few moments, Zero Tenacity surely aren't going to get absolutely wiped out by a single Apex Predator. Zero Tenacity spreading out like this is already perfect positioning for the Squatrox.
60 seconds left now, 45 and counting. It's going to be a matter of life or being eliminated. So much money on the line. Glartrox is out. Invisible Boundary baited out.
They burned it away. They were able to just make sure that the Glartrox doesn't get the value that they need. Wasn't able to find the insect back into the team, and Jerry going down. Finally, Vital being activated is going to be good news for Pirates. Kaidia capitalizes with the double, and Zero Tenacity just fall at the seams. Quick as you like it. Pirates get to the second checkpoint.
Minute 45 left again. Status has not changed. Pirates, potentially that amount of time left in their preseason run if they cannot make this work. For Zero Tenacity, they held on for quite a while. Pirates, though, prevailed.
And now how do Pirates decide to approach this? Returns trying to take control of those off angles, but XZ is there to mark them out. So Pirates are going to have to lose out on a few of that space. Zero Tenacity are taking control of the side rooms finally. But with Pirates having to have someone on the mission vehicle in order to try to find value, Marvel gets hiccuped a little bit. Will find some disruption, but with the map terrain being reset, it makes it a little bit harder. Eggsy even takes down Aztec.
And Pirates don't have to go all the way to the end. Dance of the Butterfly is out, though. Exy escapes and forcing out Endsong Inferno directly into the heart of the action. Finds one, returns. Revenge Marvel, with the help of Exy, takes down Katie as well. 50 seconds left. Again, you do not have to go to the end. There is no overtime here. Zero Tenacity did not make it to point 3.
Yep, we're not going to see overtime, but for sure we will see an overtime scenario in the end of this second round. Zero Tenacity, keep in mind, they don't have a strange portal to work with, so this next fight needs to be absolutely perfect from them.
Pirates could use a strange portal. Just a matter of seeing if it's actually going to come out or not. Vital assassinated Kumio directly on top. Fate of both worlds. This could be huge. 17 seconds left. You have to make it around the convoy. Banhammer's out once again. Return hiding in a small building. 50% up into the Butterfly. Return does it once, maybe twice. The entire strategic backline of Zero Tenacity is gone. Apex Predator brought out. Freedom Charge abound. Members of Zero Tenacity losing the fight one by one. Do they make it?
No portal means that they're going to have to walk their way back. Yeah, they're going to try to find a way to make it work. Wendy trying to use the invisible boundary. Great force physics to try to pull him into an isolated 1v1, but they're not going to be able to do that. Jerry goes in, doesn't find the value. Invisible boundary does come up. Wendy goes down. Wendy is down. Goodbye to Wendy. Pirates have a chance to win this out here. Soko clutches with the Meteor M. Everyone dumping everything into the kitchen sink. Soko comes out with a double. Hoodie's there to equalize. His overtime fight is going to keep on going.
A saw coming in the sky. Hoodie for 3. Pirates, they keep it going. They're meters away, and they stay alive. 3-2. Pirates are not out of it yet.
Oh my god, Zero Tenacity, they had a chance to come back. Soko nearly clutched out in that final fight, but unfortunately it just was not meant to be. Pirates instantly shut down Jerry that was trying to stall on the Daredevil. Wendy even getting bursted out. That's crucial seconds taken away from the invisible boundary as well. And Pirates, it just seems like they just woke up, a switch flicked inside of their heads, and they just went, hey, we got one more map left before we're out. Let's just lock the hell in.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what Pirates did. Great ultimate usage as well, because that's what we were missing in those past 2 maps. Pirates finally coming up huge here in map 3.
Yeah, I mean, Aztec and Vital, Hoodie, all in those final fights, saving their ultimates, playing for just maximum amounts of disposition, forcing uncomfortable angles from Zero Tenacity. That was the name of their own game for the longest time. MVP going to Kaidia. Wonderful work going 34-4. Love seeing again him and I would say OCE's Haluk. Some of the best, most aggressive ban pools we've seen thus far. But truly, honestly to me, I think Return needs to get that MVP slot.
I mean, Return has popped off time and time again for Pirates. He has been one of those big question marks when we saw him come into the Pirates roster before preseason even started. He is a pure rookie. He has not played professionally in other titles, so he's coming in surrounded by a team full of that past title experience. and he has looked to be slotted in so well. He has at times been the main carry. Sometimes it's vital, but sometimes it's return popping off. And sometimes you gotta think, right? How do Pirates need to adjust the ban draft right now? Because Return's Daredevil is so strong, but they're still using that first save onto the Elsa Bloodstone. Do you use it on that Daredevil, or do you go for like the Mantis or something like that? Because right now, Pirates, either they need to edit the ban draft a little bit, or they just need to essentially play better.
I mean, it's a tough question. Are you banning the cause or the symptom if you get rid of the Psylocke in the ban draft? Is it worth bringing that out? The Daredevil can be super strong no matter what, but I mean, you get rid of a Psylocke, Return can play anything, man. You're still gonna have a strong player.
And we'll see if the strength of this team is able to come up huge here. Pirates a third away from a reverse sweep. Can they follow through? We'll see as we head into map number 4.
Dracula wishes to reclaim my city. You call yourselves New York's guardians. Now is the time to prove it. Thank you very much. Slice and dice. Ancestral sword. Strike! A gift from Punch. Taste cold steel. Time to make the undead dead again. Curse thee, vile creature! Well done. Perhaps I'll give you the key to the city after this.
I shall feast on your bones! Ratatoster? What did Dracula do to you? You've got to fight, girl!
You truly believe yourself my equal? Pathetic. You have my thanks, but your vigilante antics have violated the law. You're under arrest.
Pirates still got a fight inside them. They're not willing to give up just yet. We're still in the lower finals, and we're going to game number, what is this now, Dan? 4?
Yep, we're already at map
4
4 of 5, potentially, if Pirates are able to, at the very least, put themselves in a situation where they are one step away from completing a reverse sweep against Zero Tenacity. But Pirates, I gotta give some credit to them. They actually woken up in map number 3 on Midtown. They looked way more in sync with each other. That was what we were missing back in maps 1 and 2. It was just like they were ulting one at a time. Yeah, they were ult dumping. Yeah, sure, they were winning a few of those fights, but that wombo combo potential just wasn't there. But Pirates finally utilizing the Psylocke Venom wombo combo at the very least. That's already a good step. If that's their only win con, it's better than no win con, you know?
Hey, look, even at the start of the match, we saw a lot of modifications when it came to the ban drafts. The Sogo Doctor Strange ban helped in spades. We did see a strong Magneto. Doesn't matter, though. Oh, my. Oh, my, Dan. We're going to Museum of Contemplation. The map pool is reset. D10 gets to choose where they want to go to next. To me, this felt like a no-brainer. This was consistently the most lost map for Pirates in the entirety of playoffs.
I mean, back in the group stage, Pirates did play on the Museum of Contemplation up against Zero Tenacity, but Pirates were able to win that one back in their group stage. But now coming in here, you talked about it, right? In playoffs, Pirates weren't looking so hot on that on this map in particular. We'll see how Z10 decide to play it around this time around. The last time Zero Tenacity played against Pirates in the museum, Gambit was let through. So there was a bit of that coin flip, how do I say it? Coin flip scenario happening where if one team is able to get the Gambit ultimate faster than the other, then they would just steamroll the entire fight, and then vice versa. But with Gambit being the go-to de facto first ban throughout the entirety of playoffs, means that, does that mean that Pirates are gonna play a little bit differently? Because I'd assume so, because right now Pirates, they're gonna have to figure out how to play the museum without that Gambit pick.
I would assume they would play differently in map 2, and they didn't. They almost did in map 3, and that made me very scared, Dan. But you know, they did clean up their act towards the end. I feel like the big pain point, and I hate to highlight it, man, but Vital on that Elsa, dude, I just do not think it's pulling into work. Even with a win like that, I think Phoenix would provide so much extra value, especially on Contemplation.
I would low-key be surprised if Pirates keep committing their first save onto the Elsa Bloodstone. I feel like the Mantis would be a little bit better if the opportunity presents itself. If you want to go for that first save, if you're able to secure that before Zero Tenacity are able to secure that Mantis one-sided, means that Pirates, either you go for the Mantis save if you want to, but maybe not the Elsa. I'd argue Daredevil would be one of the better options if you really want to secure a duelist on the first save.
I'd be down for the Daredevil. I'd be down for virtually anything but the Elsa at this point, which is, again, a sentence I never thought I'd say. We're heading straight into game number 4, though, Museum of Contemplation. Right now, Pirates need this next matchup to win against ZT for an even set, for them to have a chance to face revenge again against Reject in the Grand Finals.
Oh boy. Zero Tenacity are one step closer, but Pirates are still alive and kicking and screaming. Now we head into the band draft. This is the moment of truth. What does Pirates say? Okay.
Oh, come on.
All right.
I don't know about this one. I mean, Elsa's pretty good on Museum of Contemplation, specifically on the defensive side. I think it's so good to use Glartrox just to remove anyone on that direct funnel, but, like, it's been 3 maps, man.
It's been 3 maps, and Vital has not cooked on the Elsa relatively at all. There are a few moments where Vital showed signs of life, but for the most part, it's been so quiet, and Zero Tenacity and Pirates, it's looking very similar from map 3, but Pirates, alright, final ban invested onto the Doctor Strange again to shut down Soko and that final fight potential. So, Zero Tenacity, how do you approach this? Because right now the ban draft has been nearly the same, if not the exact same from map number 3.
I imagine Strange ban here. You don't want to give such a large advantage to Pirates.
I mean, if the opportunity presents itself, you should go for it. But if there's a bigger threat at their disposal, then I mean, Zero Tenacity think that the Invisible Woman is way too big of a threat. I don't blame them.
Yeah,
they know that this Doctor Strange will go through. She is a very, very strong strategist in its own right. But man, Pirates take away the Doctor Strange. We'll see if that proves to be valuable again, because my God, it was back in Midtown.
Absolutely. No portals towards the end. A mad dash forwards. Had we seen Soko on Strange, that could have been a very different ending for that final fight.
So we head into this 4th map. It looks like Pirates do choose to attack first. That has been the common choice if you do choose the Museum of Contemplation. Very few times teams have decided to go for the defensive side. Let's take a look at what Zero Tenacity are cooking up here. Baser on the White Fox. Jerry and Marvel teaming up with that Vibrant Vitality team up. Marvel able to provide that extra sustain with the wall to provide that healing. Jerry is there as well to provide that anchor and that one-sided damage boost that they have been using quite well, honestly, in the likes of Pirates' aggressive approach, just putting up those walls, putting up the damage boost, putting up that extra healing potential. Even Baser on the White Fox to provide that extra peel to help out Zero Tenacity if they do get jumped on But Pirates, they're going to have to facilitate this perfectly. It's going to be up to Fun to, at the very least, bait out these key cooldowns on Zero Tenacity.
Absolutely. Return should be the highlight of the show when it comes to Pirates. Great at off-angling, finding impact early on. Needs to rack up Dance of the Butterfly. Not a lot of places to go for this opening choke, but Return can make it work, playing on the front line alongside Fun. These two have worked in tandem so much throughout this entire set and throughout this entire season. Right now, working out in spades, 21%, racking up that ult. Kadia will be the first to get that banhammer down. Everybody else just playing for the ult charge.
But Kaidia is going to be there to provide that extra pressure potentially. Pirates need space, and space as soon as possible, really. Kaidia would be that first step to try to pressure the backline and force Zero Tenacity to, at the very least, peel and make sure that none of those strategists get eliminated, right? Pirates are going to take control of those side areas. Vital up on the left in the high ground to make sure that Zero Tenacity, if they want to go for cheeky off angles, they're not going to be able to do so. Aztec goes in with the chef. It could be huge here. It catches up 3.
There goes the boundary wielder. That's going to be 3 vital players gone. Aztec, a worthy sacrifice. Wendy, Jerry, and Soko all gone. That's the majority. That's your entire defense gone. Does that guarantee P1?
No strange.
No strange, no portals. That should be a straight shot to P1.
I mean, I think Zero Tenacity still have time to walk on forward. Marvel even switching over to the Captain America to, at the very least, stall out on the point to make sure Zero Tenacity walk on forward, but they're so close to getting there. They're not able to get it.
Oh, unfortunate.
Oh, it's because of Glartrox. There it is.
Beautiful work. Finally, Vital coming to life. Kadia, everybody shows up in the KO feed. Pirates reborn.
Wow. Pirates. Nice ultimate usage. Aztec finally getting value on the It's Chef. It only took him 3 maps, but, you know, again, better late than never. Vital also coming up huge with the Glartrox, preventing Marvel from stepping foot onto the site. So, finally, these micro clutch plays from Pirates starting to work out in their favor. Zero Tenacity, however, they have the team cohesion. They are able to play together, but with Pirates' X Factor, Zero Tenacity need to match that.
Hey, look, if you've been watching Asia anytime this season, you know this second point on Contemplation has been a live or die moment for the majority of these teams. Vital for the opening pick. Marvel's gone. There goes the group. Kumio unleashed, and Hoodie is there for the return. It's great, though. More and more damage has been applied. Meteor M nearly taking down Hoodie's life, but it's not enough to get the final deal. Xe has Ensong Inferno, a great defensive tool, but it won't be enough to wipe out the entirety of Pirates. They're making the lead charge in. Feast of the Abyss is out. Return is there. Huge work with Dance of the Butterfly, and Marvel finally gets one.
Somehow Zero Tenacity were able to survive the Wombo combo. The win condition that Pirates have been using time and time again. The Dance of the Butterfly into the Feast of the Abyss. But that time around, Zero Tenacity were able to survive that barrage with minimal ultimates. I don't think they used a single one to survive that. Xe had to use the Ensong Inferno. But that was about it. Zero Tenacity are fine with surviving this. That is a huge fight win coming in from Zero Tenacity.
Absolutely. Now, Wendy and Baser, they do have their ults available. The strategist ones, Vital is saying, could be Glartrox available again. It's been so good about driving people out of these small little territories. It's Jeff is there. Yum, yum, yum. That's a swallow. It does. No, it doesn't work. Soko gets assassinates Aztec.
We're back to what we saw
Silly
in
City.
past maps, but yeah, it got a little silly, but still a 1-for-1 trade overall. But it's going to be in favor of Zero Tenacity here. They're the ones with the closer spawn room right now, so Zero Tenacity will have reinforcements coming in way faster when you compare it to Pirates' spawn room. Baser's even there with the Kumio Unleashed to try to zone away Pirates for the time being, but at the very least, Marvel is there with the Freedom Charge if he so needs to use it. But he's probably going to wait until Pirates make that first move.
Marvel has a great info tool, just with the survivability of Captain America. Freedom Charge 2 to terrorize the back line and make sure Aztec cannot get any value out of his ults. Soul Resurgence is the starting point. Still Freedom Charge is available. Wendy and Co. inside a small building. Kaidia falls. That's such a great start.
Great start for Zero Tenacity. At the very least, to stabilize for a little bit. It got a little bit dicey, but Zero Tenacity are holding very well. Minute 40 left on the timer for Pirates as they look to poke and prod, wait for their ultimates to come online and ready to go. We're looking at Return on the Dance of the Butterfly to see if he's able to get the value. Xy's going to have the Endsong Inferno to try to dodge it away, so at the very least, he should be able to stay alive. Marvel goes in with the Freedom Charge as Hoodie does pop the Kumio Unleash, but Fun going down means that Pirates are going to have to hit that reset button.
There we go. Kumiho is out. Soko, Meteor M ready. Endsong Inferno, great initiation tool. Xy could use at any moment. But where are Pirates? They've been staggered out. Haiti again has to force back away. Xy could have found the moment to use Endsong, but wants to hold on as long as humanly possible. There's a minute left.
Return. He's looking for an angle to use the dance. Maybe he finds it, but Wendy is also there to maybe, if he finds Return dashing in,
Butterfly?
able to use
Butterfly?
the force physics to force him away. Return,
Going deep?
still waiting, potentially looking for that opportunity, but everyone on Zero Tenacity, they're okay with this. They're able to get their ultimates online, most notably Wendy on the invisible boundary.
Hey, look, Dan, if they want to prove you wrong, Lartrox and Dance of the Butterflies and
Great force physics.
Well, instead, though, it's going to be force physics pushing Return away. Dance of the Butterfly finds no value. Fun, Feast of the Abyss. Almost putting it work. Pepper is out. Kaidia again terrorizing the scratch in the backline. It forces the entire arsenal from Zero Tenacity to be unleashed. And Song Inferno, fantastic fight with no impact at all. Soul Resurgence is down. That's the contingency plan. Holding the line, ensuring that Pirates cannot get a second. We're back to overtime again. Holding it down. No ults available for anybody on the board. The closest is Baser. They could be the ones to alleviate this pressure. Assassination! Return removes the Psylocke out. And now, with a Kumio Unleashed, you might as well use it. Displays them away. A portal is out, but it's too late.
I'm not sure where Fun was. I think it was just a few pixels out of the convoy. But Zero Tenacity, great holds coming in, able to survive the aggressive moves coming in from Pirates, especially with the Dance of the Butterfly and the Feast of the Abyss Wombo combo. It just didn't work out, and then Return tried to go for the finishing KO onto the backline of Zero Tenacity, but a great force physics from Wendy was just the difference there to keep the strategist alive on Zero Tenacity. Yeah, literally saved the day. And now Pirates, you're gonna have a decent hold. At least you didn't get full held by Zero Tenacity. So at the very least, you have some leverage to work with. So you don't have to resort to things like the Atom Warlock to make sure that everyone is there as long as possible. So Zero Tenacity, though, great hold coming in. Can they match that push to push them into the grand final?
Pirates forced on the defense. It was attacked back on Midtown. Now Return, not going to be on the Psylocke, and Ultron instead, putting all of their stock on that offensive presence in their defense on Vital. There's been a lot of controversy with Vital in this series. If there's a chance to shut the haters up and prove them wrong, it's got to be right now.
It's gotta be, yep, right here, right now. Aztag even gonna put the Snowflake onto Vital, I would imagine. Return putting the drone onto Vital as well. So this is gonna be a very supercharged Elsa Bloodstone. 10% damage boost every few seconds, mean that Vital, 1, will pump out as much damage as possible, and 2, get to that Glartrox before anyone else on Zero Tenacity are able to get their ultimates online and ready to go. Because right now, Vital is pretty much winning that ultimate race, or at the very least matching it with Marvel and Xy.
Yeah, I gotta say, Return is doing a fantastic job racking it up as well. Range of Ultron could be the initiation tool necessary to break this line. Marvel, though, is bouncing around everywhere. It is America versus America. One's a werewolf, one is a football player. And let me tell you, I could not tell who's going to win this one out. Marvel's creating more space at the very least, preventing off-angle potential. That's what you want to see with Fun and company on this defense directly on top of the convoy. But he is terrorizing these strategists.
I mean, Fun is just checking off all the things, right? Marking the side angles and then disrupting the back line with those soft hits. Marvel and Fun are making this look like a moment from Avengers Endgame. Captain America versus Captain America. They're still fist fighting each other.
That's no elevator, Dan. But let's see, though. Oh, no. Rage of Ultron. The Glartrox are out now. This could be a big moment, a game changer. Freedom Charge underway. Marvel in return immediately. Rage of Ultron on top. The Glartrox wielder gets assassinated. Even with all the amplification in the world, it doesn't make a difference. saved at the very last moment, frozen in time. Believe me, Cap knows a thing or two about that. Oh, Resurgence is out now. Damage amplification should be everywhere, and the heals are most certainly abound. It's gonna be Fate of Both Worlds in return. Once again, Marvel torturing this back line doesn't make a difference. Song Inferno also found a little bit of value, but even then, Aztec gets one. In return, that's gonna be XT Falls. Invisible Boundary, all these ults so early on. No one's holding on for the nuclear arsenal. It's one by one. Banhammer again. Everybody's going for everything at once. Did you know that there was a Banhammer or a Kumio Unleashed? I sure didn't. But through it all, it was everything unleashed at once. And with a minute 40 left, Dan, there's still a lot of room for ZT to get this convoy.
And now we reset back to the neutral. Pirates are able to get the hold down. Minute and a half left for Zero Tenacity means that they're going to have to navigate towards those ultimates at the very least in order to look for a second attempt at capturing the first checkpoint. Because if they don't, we're going to be tied to a piece, and Pirates will be one more map win away from a reverse sweep as Baser and Xe look to shut down that momentum.
It's a flurry of colors, my friend, and Kaidia again forced to run away. Is that a strategist? No, it's Vito, all alone, still ever squishy, and Jerry eliminates them. Mantis v. Elsa, a fitting description of this series. 3 meters left, 56 seconds to go, and still that convoy being held. A portal! Jerry, you are not a duelist! Does it again! This Mantis has been incredible! And could there be a Kumio soon? Might not matter, because we see the strangling imprisonment on top of an invisible boundary that needs to come out right now. No, it's not necessary, Dan. Even with the portal, all the Pirates have sunken ship.
Keep up the momentum.
I mean, either you wait for your ultimates to come out, or you just win them out in the neutral, and that's exactly what Zero Tenacity did. They beat down the Pirates. They take away 2 without using a single ultimate, and with that momentum, Zero Tenacity just don't look back. They keep on moving forward. Pirates try to stabilize with some ultimates, most notably the Rage of Ultron. It just wasn't enough. Zero Tenacity, off of those picks, just keep the train moving, and now we get closer and closer. Zero Tenacity have a chance to shut down Pirates right here, right now.
And look at that distance, 2.5 minutes on the clock still, and there's plenty of ults for ZT to control the entirety of Pirates and how they can dictate the rest of this match, potentially this series.
Potentially. Batmobile's rounding the corner. Zero Tenacity have a lot of ultimates at their disposal. Kaidia, thankfully, has the Deadpool ultimates. Aztec could go for the Jeff E, but that's really a more safe option, it feels like, because Aztec hasn't really found much value with that Shark. He's just going to use it to reposition.
It finds nothing! Meteor M in return! Salt in the wound, Vital falls, and Aztec's confidence unfortunately may be waned. That's going to be an assassination. No, Soko only takes half of that HP off of Aztec down. Kumio has been unleashed. It's a Fox battle! And only one comes out the winner. That's going to go to Baser. That convoy does not have long to go. It is everything under the sun to be brought out. Strategist ults, Song Inferno, Beast of the Abyss. What you can do, what buttons you can click needs to be brought out.
Return?
Kaidia, return! Jerry X here gone. Pirates have held the line another time around.
Oh my. They had to rise up now, and Pirates do just that. Return coming up huge, clicking down 3, and now the ultimate economy swings into Pirates' favor. There is a world where Pirates get the hold down, and we go to map number 5. Vital needs to come up insane with this Glartrox, or else Zero Tenacity could just win it outright.
This Apex Predator is everything. 45 seconds left now. Return. Trying to stack up Song Inferno as soon as humanly possible. A game of pokes. Get the flashes set up and ready. Aztec is on the way with its Jeff, and that could be great for the convoy at the very end of OT. 30 seconds left.
Wait,
might not seem like a lot of time. You're right. You're not. What can they do? Instead, Banhammer's out instead. Soko far away. No one's challenging this Phoenix whatsoever. Glartrox is out. And now suddenly it's a flurry of ultimates once again. Kaidia through the Banhammer. Remove
They're doing
Visor.
it. Oh my god, they did it.
Light is gone.
Oh my. Is there even time?
No portal?
No portal. Strange is banned. Everyone on Zero Tenacity have to make a mad dash onto the point. There's no time. 3 seconds left. It's going to go down to 0. Jerry's going to try to touch, but he's going to get taken out. We're going to map number 5.
I just cannot believe it, Dan. We are going the full distance, and it's lower bracket finals. We still have grand finals after this, and that is looking like it'll go the distance too. Wonderful work. A beautiful Glartrox to come out from Vital. He is proving the haters wrong, man. These last 2 maps have been so good for him.
I mean, the rest of Pirates, the first 2 maps just felt like a warm-up game for Pirates, right? They finally woke up. They realized, hey, we're not playing so well. We're gonna need to lock the heck in for Midtown at the very least. Maybe try to squeak out at least 1 map win. And now they get 2. They just need 1 more, and they complete the reverse sweep. Zero Tenacity. You're gonna have to start sweating a little bit because you're getting flashbacks to group stage where Pirates just ran right through you guys. So Zero Tenacity need to figure out something in terms of this ban draft as well. Do you want to commit a save onto the Doctor Strange before Pirates make the move onto it? I would imagine that would be the case, but I feel like if Pirates don't get a chance to ban out the Doctor Strange, they could just ban out the Invisible Woman that has been very, very strong in the current meta as well.
I don't know which one you'd rather go for, Dan. Even the Mantis is strong too, and there's a chance you could sacrifice that for the early protect. A lot of decisions need to be made, man, but if you're a fan of Pirates, I gotta say, you are feeling pretty good with the redemption that they just had. They lost Museum of Contemplation against Triple AD, a factor for them to go into the lower bracket. They lost it against Reject, also the reason why they went to the lower bracket. They won it against Zero Tenacity. Now we go all the way. The final game to see who can face up against Reject in the grand finals is just moments away, man.
I mean, I'm so excited. Both of these teams showing that this collision course of a banger of a matchup has ring true. I wanted this to go the absolute distance, and we got just that. I mean, Zero Tenacity coming up in swinging at the start, putting a little holes into Pirates' ship, but Pirates are able to stabilize, get the buckets, get all the water out of the ship, rebuild that boat, and then look to sail away into the sunset to get themselves onto the matchup in the grand finals. But we need 1 more map to separate these 2. And what better way than to do it with a short break as we come back and see how these teams turn out after map 5.
one more map. All the way again for the chance to maybe go to grand finals. It's going to be one of these teams, I can guarantee you that. Which team it is, I could not even begin to predict it anymore, Dan.
I mean, Reject are just sitting pretty, watching this entire series go down. They're getting a lot of information. Either Pirates go into the grand final or Zero Tenacity. There's a lot of tape on them, and Reject are going to have a lot of time to, at the very least, get an idea on what both of these teams are bringing to the table, because we're going all the way to map number 5. You're going to have to go deep into your playbook. Do Pirates want to whip out something crazy here? Or do they want to save it and maybe risk losing out in that grand final matchup? Because, quite frankly, Zero Tenacity also are going to think the same thing. Do you want to pull out everything in your strat book right now and show Reject that they have that plan at their disposal? Well, only time will tell, because in map number 5, the map pick goes into Zero Tenacity's favor again. What map do we go for? Because right now, the only 2 game modes we have currently is Domination and Convergence.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that if you're Zero Tenacity, you may want to opt for a domination match. I think even with the wins that we saw back in Shin Shibuya, it was still the most confident look that we'd seen from ZT's side. I imagine that's where they have to go next. We don't know what map it's going to be until production shows us, so it'll be a surprise for everybody. That being said, though, I think with the banned drafts, maybe the Elsa stocks have gone up a little bit more for Vital, but I think it's still that
I don't know.
a little bit by like 1 or 2 points, man, like 1 or 2.
Just a little bit, but it's just like...
it's not a monstrous lead, but just a tiny bit. It helped out a lot in that final stretch.
It's true. Vital did get 1 or 2 pretty good Elsa ultimates at the very least, but they were just zoning. They weren't really used to get eliminations. They were just really used to force
That's still use.
Zero Tenacity away. Yeah, that's still value. Don't get me wrong, but it just feels like Vital could do so much more, because keep in mind, we're on the Season 7.0 patch. We're not on 7.5 yet,
That's
so
true.
those Elsa nerfs have not come through, and I hate to say it, but seeing Vital on the Elsa makes it feel like I'm on 7.5.
Ooh, ouch. You know what? That's fair. I understand. I don't know if we're going to see Elsa again for Game 5. I'm hoping, despite how good Contemplation was for them, maybe it's the Phoenix return again. I've been praying for that since the few times we did see it. But regardless of what Vital plays, that first reserve from Pirates could make or break this matchup.
I mean, I know usually at the first half of band draft, it's usually the same
thing, yeah,
over and over again throughout the entire series. But right here, I think they need to do something different. They have to.
do, man.
Pirates, I don't think you need to save the Elsa here. I don't think Zero Tenacity really care about it too much, because they've shown that they can handle that Elsa time and time again. Even if Zero Tenacity lose out on those maps, they're able to neutralize that Elsa every single time. And if Pirates are committing resources onto the Elsa and are still getting away with wins, how does that feel for Zero Tenacity? You still feel like, hey, we can still deal with this Elsa Bloodstone. We don't really have to ban it. I mean, they're right. But after that,
Hell's Heaven.
what's next? Because right now we go into Hell's Heaven. This is a good Elsa map. Do you want to take it away? Or do you just let it slide? But really, it's onto the Pirates, right? The big question is, what are we doing with the Elsa? Are we using it or are we not? Because Pirates need to figure that out right here, right now.
That's the big question, man. Hell's Heaven's going to be a bit of an unknown factor for both these teams. Krakoa and Celestial Husk were the ones that have been played so far, for the most part, in playoffs, but Hell's Heaven's very snowball heavy, can benefit the Elsa a lot, I'll give you that, but, you know, it's also Vital's Elsa. Can't say I've been the biggest hoping factor on that so far.
And at the very least for this series, he hasn't looked too well. He does have a lot of other duelists that he can play. We've seen him pop off on the Star Wars. We've seen him do really well on the Namor at times as well, if he so needs to use that hero. But right now, that Elsa prioritization from Pirates didn't really work out in the first 2 maps. And then the next two maps, it just felt like it really wasn't Vital popping off. It was really Return. We haven't been talking about him a whole lot, but he has been quietly frying Zero Tenacity on the Psylocke, on the Phoenix. We've seen him clutch that final fight on the Museum of Contemplation with a clutch triple. And yeah, someone needs to stop Return because he's not the one being focused down.
Yeah, look, Return, his duality with Fun Fun was instrumental. The fact that you would see Fun Fun use Feast of the Abyss, Dance of the Butterflies right thereafter would just stun and destroy entire teams, including Zero Tenacity. I can imagine that's going to go through again. You're not going to want to ban out the Psylocke. Maybe in a very small, minute percentage of Venom ban could come out. I don't think Fun Fun's had the impact, as good as he has been, to be the one to focus on.
I mean, Fun Fun, also, we don't really shine a lot of light on him, but he has done a pretty good job in terms of disrupting the backline. Yeah, he doesn't get a lot of eliminations, but he's still there to provide that line of sight manipulation, go for those soft hits, try to draw out the cooldowns from Zero Tenacity so that when Pirates do go for that next engagement, that next dive move, Zero Tenacity have no way to shut it down. So now we go into Hell's Heaven. What do Pirates decide to do? Do we want to see more dive from Pirates, or do we want to see more brawl? Because right now, Pirates,
I want dive.
at times the dive has worked, sometimes it hasn't worked out. But Pirates do have brawl options at their disposal. But with the Gambit being first banned every single time, Pirates just have no chance to put Kaidia on the Rogue as well and just resort to that brawl style that they sometimes would love to go for. But with the Gambit being that ever so pressed first ban, that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if that ban comes on out. We are going to our final matchup of the lower bracket finals. Zero Tenacity versus Pirates. One goes home and one stays to fight against the raid boss of Reject in the grand finals. $20,000 for them on the line for the winning team. Guaranteed money already for both these teams, but everyone wants a little bit more.
Well, we're all gonna have to set our sights on what Pirates decide to say first, because this is where the moment of truth is. Do Pirates stick to the plan, or do they go somewhere else? This is where it matters. Here we go. What's the save? Come on, Pirates.
This is the moment.
What you got for us?
Is it Elsa? Oh, it's Elsa.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Vital has found
All right.
impact on Elsa in the last 2 or so maps, but
We're like climbing ever so slightly, like
minutely.
It's like rock climbing, right? We completed the V1,
One
now we
rock
got
at
the
a time.
V2. Yeah, exactly. But now it looks like the ban draft, for the most part, is going to be the same for the first half at the very least. Zero Tenacity will get that one-sided Mantis once again. Pirates, on the other hand, will secure Elsa one-sided. And from what we've been seeing, Zero Tenacity have been completely okay with it for the most part.
yeah, nothing too crazy thus far. Loki bans out from Pirates' side. Daredevil once again. Zero Tenacity ensures that Pirates will not be able to use it. Invisible Woman save will be good, but this does enable Pirates for a chance to go for another Doctor Strange ban.
There you go. As soon as you said it, it comes into existence. This, I believe it's pretty much the exact same ban draft. Yeah, this is looking like we're fine with that ban draft. Let's run it back. Zero Tenacity are looking to take a different approach at the very
White
least.
Fox.
We'll use the final ban to
Hero.
shut down Hoodie
Oh,
on the
really?
White
I'm not
Fox.
judging.
If you remember way back at the beginning of preseason, we did see Hoodie pop off and get nearly I think almost a penta on White Fox on Hell's Heaven. So
Yeah.
maybe they're thinking glimpses of that maybe, but even then, since then, Hoodie's mechanical has just gotten so much stronger on this hero. But we won't see it.
Hoodie is so good mechanically. I remember seeing him back when he subbed in on the Genji roster, at least in stage 2 of Ignite Asia. And my god, I still remember his Adam Warlock performance on Arako. Yeah, they lost out on that map, but my goodness. The aim on this guy and the awareness to go for those off-angle hits was just absolutely insane to see. And Hoodie gonna go for the Invisible Woman, doesn't have access to the White Fox. I would assume that he would have wanted to go for that over the Invisible Woman, but Invisible Woman at the very least is available. I believe Zero Tenacity did ban that hero out in the last map, so they're gonna make a minor adjustments to the ban draft. But Pirates so far, ever since taking away Soko's Doctor Strange, Pirates have been getting the upper hand, at least in the late game.
They have been. Fun's going to go for early portal. Very snowball heavy map. You need to get as many advantages getting the displacement as you possibly can. But to your point though, Soko no longer on the Magnetos, opting to go for the ban pool instead. We saw Soko game 1 on the last domination get 0 KOs against them, 0 deaths, and that helped out so much for the team.
Pirates are looking to spread out now, fanning away. They use the Doctor Strange portal to put themselves in an advantageous angle, forcing themselves into Zero Tenacity's territory, but Wendy is able to kick them right back out with a pick onto Kaidia.
Very strong start here, Marvel. Close to being lost out on that early KO. Not quite the case though. Soko much more active in the server this time around. Double KO to begin things off. That's what you want to see. And it could have been possibly a third. Jerry wipes out more Pirates.
Perfect bubble coming in from Soko to cut off the healing from the backline of Pirates. Hoodie was outside of that bubble, so he was not able to patty cake Aztec and return, so they both go down, and that is a convincing first fight win for Zero Tenacity.
And that was the portal investment too. Fun and company, they got early onto the site, and even then, isolated out by the hands of Soko specifically was so strong.
I mean, at the very least, the portal will come back in time if they need it in an overtime touch scenario. As Fun moves on forward, Soko overextends a little bit. But at the very least, Zero Tenacity could try to zone away Pirates with a good Rage of Ultron, as Pirates are closing in on their own ultimates.
Xy's close to getting Dance of the Butterfly as well. They want to take a page out of the Return book. Return, though, not on Psylocke. Instead, also on Ultron. Damage amps pumping in directly into Kaidia and Vital is going to help out a lot. Barry does bring out that Rage of Ultron. Does not find the impact necessary, but does hold back Pirates from pushing up.
I mean, that's exactly what Zero Tenacity wanted. Force Pirates away from making any aggressive moves so that Zero Tenacity can stack up their ultimates on their end. And look what it's done for them. Exy now having the Dance of the Butterfly. Baser and Wendy have strategist ultimates. Marvel even there as that third safety net available for Zero Tenacity. And they should be able to, at the very least, survive the initial barrage of ultimates that Pirates are setting up.
Let's see though, Invisible Boundary is out, and that'll be the beginning. Fun, Agamotto on the wayside, Return as well, but the Banhammer will come out first, and Invisible Boundary, all you have to do is wait that out now if you're Pirates, and you have a barrage, so many missiles of ultimates that you could use at your disposal. But that's Return gone, no Rage of Ultron for just a few moments. Large rocks and Fate of both worlds, more damage amp that we could see, but a Soul Resurgence of Return should nullify anything that Vital has to offer with that giant monster. Dance of the Butterflies. It's Hoodie once again, and still retaining control. We're in overtime with Return using Rage of Ultron. They're trying to clear some kind of space. It's not looking likely.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if Fun does have access to the portal. No, he's staying on the site, so him going down means that Pirates have to pick up the pieces, but they're not able to get themselves in. Zero Tenacity off a great ultimate barrage are able to force Pirates off the site and are able to hold them at bay. Zero Tenacity will complete the shutout in round 1.
I mean, it's a complete guess from my book, but it feels like a lot of Zero Tenacity's comms are macro-wide, figuring out how they're going to coordinate their ultimates, and it's making a big difference. The fact, again, that you highlighted, Barry would bring out Rage of Ultron early, dissipate a lot of Pirates from pushing in, allow the rest of ZT to rack up their ultimates, and have a barrage like Baser and Exy getting Dance of the Butterflies proved pivotal in that final fight to prevent Pirates from ever even getting a single cap.
But can Zero Tenacity do it again? They need
the
one
last
more
chance.
round before they punch their ticket into the grand final. Whereas Pirates, they had their chance, but unfortunately, their ult dump just did not proved to be valuable. Zero Tenacity just played that to absolute perfection, using ultimates to stall out Pirates' moves, their plans at the very least, to give Zero Tenacity the room that they need in order to get those ultimates online and ready to go. But right now, as we head into this first fight, it's going to be pretty much neutral until Marvel and Jerry changes things.
Look at this reversal though. Pirates have switched around their duelists. Return now on the Phoenix and Vitals on the Psylocke for extra momentum. This could be the turnaround necessary.
Could be. Missionary opens up. Jerry and Marvel have their ultimates. Jerry kicks things off. No response on the side of Pirates, which means Kaidia going down. That domino effect is going to go into Zero Tenacity's favor in terms of eliminations.
Ultron shows his range. It doesn't help with the KO though. Bizar's there to remove Fun early on. That's going to be a strong start. And ZT are building up their ult economy. My God. Into the spawn. Pirates, this is not the way you want to go out. There has to be a moment to fight back. XE falls to the hands of the Invisible Woman. This is a good start to reel it back. DT opting only to peel just a tiny bit. They are still claiming so much extra space. But as long as Pirates can hold forwards and use this body advantage to their momentum, they have a chance to recap.
Soko?
Banhammer? Soko is in the middle of the fray. Are they trying to ban out Dance of the Butterflies early? Maybe. Aztec does get one. That's its Jeff. Get to the lava? No, not in time. Instead, feed them to the piranhas. That's Soko gone. Freedom charge in return. And Pirates have built up their arsenal again.
Yeah, Pirates have ultimates to work with. Fun going in. Dance the Butterfly into the Feast of the Abyss. Wombo combo reigns true yet again. Phaser going down is already bad news because he was so close to that Soul Resurgence. So Zero Tenacity don't have another safety net to rely on in this initial fight. Vital going down, getting traded out by Jerry, means that Zero Tenacity still think this fight is winnable.
All those ults, and not even for a person on the point. A huge repush from Zero Tenacity, forcing all the Pirates off. Invisible boundary, just barely touching the point itself. And through it all, a massive peel from Pirates, 70%. Portal is available for this team.
Oh, this might be over already. Pirates don't have anything to work with. No ultimates means that they're going to have to find something in the neutral area. Zero Tenacity, look at their ultimates. Phaser and Jerry could easily shut this down. We're going to Final Fight Terry with Pirates having nothing.
85, the ship is sinking, holes all over. I can see the mass flowing into the water. Marvel, this has to be the last chance for Pirates to bring it back. XE takes down one. The two of the strategists are gone. Vital respawns back as a change. Portal's out.
It's over.
98%. There's no time. Pirates have been eliminated.
Wow, Zero Tenacity with odds against them are able to come out on top finally. And what better way to do it? That was a 200-0. Pirates didn't get a single point at all in that map. And Zero Tenacity are able to overcome the Strange ban and have everyone just online ready to go. Insane ultimate management. That's really where it came down to. The economy side of Zero Tenacity was just absolutely perfect. Pirates had no response for the most part, and now Zero Tenacity are one step closer to greatness. They just need one more best of 7 to go through in the likes of Reject, and that's where it comes down to. It's going to be Zero Tenacity up against Reject. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Pirates coming in so hot in preseason don't even make it to the grand final.
Pirates were the team that everybody in the world were watching going into these playoffs. A team that had a flawless, no map lost run to make it to grand finals of MRC Season 6 for a chance to qualify for Ignite preseason. They do so in spades, have a flawless group stage, and a strong start going into playoffs. They meet their match in the upper bracket with Reject, fall to the lowers, and then lose it out to Zero Tenacity, the ultimate wild card of Asia. I just cannot believe what story we're seeing, dude.
I mean, that's there were questions coming into preseason as a whole, right? Zero Tenacity, how is this roster going to do well? Because if you're running this kind of international roster, it really depends. Either you pop off as a team or you don't. There hasn't really been that much in between. And I'm just glad Zero Tenacity are going towards the former of popping off, and now they are guaranteed second place. So they came out as the second best team in Asia out of groups, and now they're looking to at least be the second best team in Asia in playoffs. But with a revitalized Reject waiting at the throne, means that things are going to be difficult for Zero Tenacity, because Reject looked to be next level in their glow up.
We pushed all the way through. I'm at a loss for words, man. Just the fact that I think everybody expected Pirates to be at least in the Grand Championship slot, if not winning it all. The fact, again, that it was swept out from under their feet. They looked great in the process, but unfortunately, Zero Tenacity just looked a little bit better, man.
I mean, it took them a little while to figure out how they wanted to approach the ban draft, right? With Pirates taking away the Doctor Strange from Zero Tenacity, it proved to be valuable, at least in maps 3 and 4, when they wanted to go for those touches for overtime. They just couldn't get there in time. But then in map 5, I think Zero Tenacity just realized, hey, we need to win the first fight, get the capture point as soon as possible, and hold it on to dear life, because as soon as they lose it and they give Pirates the momentum, Zero Tenacity can't get back.
It's
There's
true.
no
There was
portal,
so little
no
momentum.
way. They have to walk through main. And if Pirates were able to get that first cap, there was a world where Pirates could have just taken over Zero Tenacity.
Yeah, but that was not the world we lived in, man. I thought maybe for sure you had the Doctor Strange ban against Soko. You're somewhat nerfing him. Soko swapping over away from the Magneto and getting more active in the server was something that I wasn't expecting to see, but his fan pool was nasty, dude. A lot of these replays that I'm looking at right now, they show him leading the charge, having those ban hammers underway, and he was helping out the rest of these duelists make that extra jump over to counter out Vital in return.
I mean, that's one of his best Vanguards. If he doesn't get access to the Strange, if the team doesn't want him on the Strange, he could easily play the Vanguard Deadpool. We've seen him do really well on the Magneto as well, but it's really been the Deadpool that Soko has been popping off on as his secondary hero, and I am getting word that we are getting an interview.
Ooh.
And it will be none other than Baser himself. We talked to them before, and now we get to talk to them again. So Baser, oh my god, how are you feeling? Because that was insane of a best of 5.
I'm feeling incredible right now. I mean, almost got reverse swept, so we were a little nervous, but I believed the whole entire time we had it. We came in with full confidence and just fully ready, so yeah.
Well, talk to us about those nerves. What is that like when you're in such a high octane environment? It's a position that most people in this world will never be in. How do you stay calm, cool, and collected, and eventually win it out?
I mean, honestly, just kind of a go next mentality. Obviously, the map ends, you have no control over what happened. All you can do is look at what happened, talk about it, and move on and put it into play in the next map. And that's all we kept doing. And over time, we slowly figured out what we needed to fix and what needed to happen, and able to close it out on the 5th map. So very easy.
That's very nice, but I gotta talk to you, right? Pirates started to ban out that Doctor Strange in maps 3 and 4 and 5 as well. How are you guys able to navigate that? Because that hasn't happened to you yet in playoffs, to my memory at the very least.
Yeah, it's not a very common ban against us. I think it'll probably see more popularity after this matchup, of course. But I feel like that honestly wasn't really the problem. It was more of recognizing what their win condition was, and we figured it out in the last map. So yeah, that was that. Because Soko, like I said, has the Deadpool, and we're not afraid to pull it out. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it worked well in spades. We saw the Magneto for a while. It looked good, but, we saw a lot of extra value from the Van Pool when it came to that final match. Talk to us about the comms, because we noticed that the ult synergy between you and Pirates was vastly different for the majority of this series. You guys would use them in tandem. You would combo them very well, and that did exist for Pirates, but not nearly at the same frequency. Was the majority of the comms based on ultimates, or was it just like general fundamentals?
Yeah, majority of it is like fight planning, calming our ults. Pirates, they just kind of all spammed Q at the same time and hoped they'd win the game. So, but for us, we're a little bit more methodical, and you saw like how dominant it was in map 1 and 2. But then if you look back at 3 and 4, all the fights came down to 6 ults being pressed at the same time and us ending up losing. But we flipped it around on the 5th map and played an actual proper game, and we stomped them. So yeah.
Yeah, there you go. And this is my final question. I don't know if Keg has anything more
No,
to
you're
say,
good, dude.
but you're going up against Reject. Are you guys ready?
Yeah, I think we're riding this high. We're prepared, and yeah, we're excited. Gonna take first for sure. I'm feeling it. You guys gonna see me in another hour or two, whenever that is.
Another hour or two. You know what? I'm excited for it. Who knows? This might be our second interview with you tonight, or we might have a second interview with you tonight, I should say. We'll have to wait and see. Reject is a scary force. Do you have any words for Reject before we let you go?
Let us go all the way. That's all I want. Just
Okay.
I want 7 maps. I want 7 maps.
Yeah.
I'm with it. Baser, thank you so much. It's a wonderful, as usual, to be here with you. Great to listen to your insights once again. And take a rest before you go and fight Reject, but we'll see you there.
All right, thank you guys.
Thank you, Baser. Man, Woo! Can you believe this is only our first series to